And we're live. Painkiller already, episode 288. Hey, can I jump in before the ads?
Yeah.
A quick thing. We're trying something new. So we're going to go for probably about 40 minutes, an hour before our guest joins, and then he becomes available a little bit into the show. So you guys can see, I know Taylor and Kyle can see, but Anthony Cumia is going to be our guest, and he'll be joining us roughly 40 minutes from now. Kyle?
Yep, got 3 sponsors tonight: Dollar Shave Club, Movement Watches, and USA's Mr. Robot, which a lot of you were a fan of. We'll be talking about all of them later on in the show, explain each one of them to you, but for now, let's just get into it. So yeah, Cumia is coming on later.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are telling me... Yeah, you guys were saying he's in some hot water, so it'll be fun to see what's going on with that. He always seems to be, like the very first time we had him on, the thing we were discussing was the accusations of racism and all the Twitter rants.
He had made some tweets that could be interpreted harshly.
Yeah, and he got fired from that massive contract from Sirius. So yeah, he's always in it. So it'll be fun to talk to him.
I was having conversations with myself about this before the show started, and typically, and I hope this holds true tonight, Anthony is an open book. Like, if he's in hot water and in the public thing, he's never like, no, we're just here to talk about Rampart, right? For the AMA reference. He'll be like, oh, yeah, let me tell you about my experiences there. And I hope that he does that this show. We'll find out.
We will. Yeah. I like how he's handled stuff like that in the past as far as being open with it. Admittedly, I followed his whole firing from Sirius XM closely because I was listening to O&A all the time at that time. Since O&A stopped, I haven't followed him as much, really, like what's going on with whatever his current court case is. I don't 100% know, but he's really got, my understanding is he has fuck you money, and so that lets him just kind of say whatever. Like, yeah, I got accused of this, people think I'm really racist, but what are you going to do? I guess I'm going to go get my hot tub and, maybe tap my Guinness keg, my third Guinness keg downstairs. But, yeah, I really like Anthony. He's a funny fucking guy. But big
He said I was racist, so I fucked a black transsexual. Let's see him say that now.
If that is true, that's a silver bullet of impenetrability.
He's like, I
to the
love
left,
him.
where it's like, man, you're a racist and you're a transphobe. Oh yeah. Well, I fucked a black transgender.
Let me introduce you to Jamal here.
Jamalette.
Dude, that's like the plot line behind Orange is the New Black this season.
I've never seen an episode of that.
I haven't either.
Well, okay, minor spoilers. There's a celebrity who gets introduced this season as an inmate, and I think she's meant to be Martha Stewart, and there's a lot of parallels, but not exactly. Anyway, she's accused of being racist while she's in there, so she doesn't become a lesbian, but she has these impromptu photo ops where she's kissing black women, and not just I don't know how to, the blackest of black women, right? Giant,
dark skinned.
I'm trying to say this gingerly, but
you mean like a ginger or carefully?
Carefully.
Okay.
The black woman that she kisses, is
got some soul.
Got some soul. Perfect. I think that works for me. She's got some soul, and she couldn't have picked a better version.
Would CNN call them urban?
Maybe. I really wish I hadn't gone down this road, because there's gonna be Woody Exposed videos all over, I'm the next key star. But
did you say there's a lot of shootings on that road?
She's from MLK Boulevard. So
well, now yeah.
What? That's
There's
a Chris
an MLK
Rock routine
Boulevard in every single city,
right?
And every single one of that's the barometer for downtown St. Louis of if a story's gonna be good, if you're talking to a friend, they're like, so I was on MLK. And you're like, oh, and what were you doing there? I know you weren't lost because you live here, so you were doing something fucky. You couldn't find the drugs you wanted in the other counties, so you had to really delve deep or something.
So anyway, that's a plot line from Orange is the New Black. She pretends to be a lesbian into black women and poses for photos and stuff. So
that sounds smart. That's what Donald Trump should do too. He should bring out a black lover. You know what? This is Emilio. He's been with me since the 80s. He helped me design Trump Tower. Start making out with a black guy on stage. Just what are they going to do with that?
Dude, I would pretend to be anything if they were like, you're sentenced to prison for 30 years, gavel bang, get out of here, I would be a neo-Nazi the first day with no qualms, because that's the only way that I think. Like, if you're in a real prison, you have to join a gang, right? Like, if you don't, you're kind of fucked. I don't think that the Latin Kings or some other group is going to be like, oh, yeah, we'll get,
the Bloods.
Glasses-wearing white guy. Like, I'm going to have to immediately, like, get a fucking Bic pen and start stabbing, like, as they're convicting me. Like, hey, put that pen down. Put that pen. No, I got to hurry up. I'm going to jail. I'm putting a swastika in, like, right now.
I don't know. I don't really have a good prison survival strategy. Sometimes people are like, what do you train for a while? No, that's not going to help. We all know it's not going to help. Like, they're going to have some sort of fair 1v1. Are we going to lay the mats out first? Is that step one of this thing? No, they're going to kick my ass at, like, the cafeteria table.
Want to go in there with a good, tight 3 to 5 minute set so that you can just entertain everyone. When they start fucking with it, you just want to be like, just kind of stand up on a chair and start doing stand-up. You want them laughing. If you could do that, I think you could bring all... What if you had prison humor, too? What if it was jokes about the white guys and the black guys and the Mexican guys, and you had situational, observational humor for that?
Then they all dislike you.
Just roast them. I don't know.
Or yes, you go with the... I don't know that you have to be join a gang. Maybe you could just be you and just keep your head down. But yeah, if you did have to join one, I think we all know which gang we're going to fit into.
Am I the only one that has like some related like prison anxiety? Like, oh fuck, what would I do? I don't know. Like, this is just a situation which I won't thrive in. This is terrible.
Because like you have to go
to everything's a little rough.
Like, to go to real fucking prison, you have to do something fucked up, or you have to fuck up a ton of times. Like, you have to really rack up those loitering charges before they're throwing you in with, fucking Tony Stevens White.
You forgot your visa bill, Mr. Woodworth. 3 to 5. Like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no. Like, you have to do something like arson. I guess just arson. Yeah. You have to do something like that, I think, or violent crimes. And I know I'm never gonna do something like that, so I'm not worried.
Dude, yeah, I don't know.
That concussed elderly neighbor stumbles into Woody's kitchen at 3 in the morning, and Woody blows him away. He's gonna be.
I don't know you. That's my purse.
That's the castle doctrine, man. I'm safe. Don't come in my house without an invite, baby.
That's how it is in Missouri too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're all in states like that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. North Carolina. For people who have no idea, the castle doctrine means that it used to be, and I learned a lot about this during my concealed permit course, that if someone was already in your house, you couldn't shoot them. Like, there they are with your toaster, like clearly stealing it. That's like proof of intent not to hurt you. They have to like drop the toaster and run at you for you to be clear to shoot in the old days. Interestingly, though, if they were banging on your door, you could shoot them through the door if you wanted. But if they're already in the house and there they are with your toaster, no shooting. Now, if they're in your house, open fire. Like, that's how the castle doctrine works. If there's bad guys in your house, you don't have to wait for them to prove that they're bad.
Well, but if it turns out that they weren't bad, you're going to be in a lot of hot water. I guarantee you that if it's your concussed elderly neighbor looking for help for his wife, and you gunned him down without even like checking a pulse, like, there's going to be hell to pay.
Probably. Yeah. And concussed elderly neighbors are a pretty extreme scenario. But if it's like your propane guy who thought he could just enter the house, and check on things without talking to you first, you're probably clear. Like,
damn. You don't know Larry the propane guy?
I don't.
Damn, he sells propane and propane accessories.
I don't know how close you guys are to like driving into another state from where your house is.
Not
very
close.
So when you took your concealed weapons permit, did they have to like give you rules for the surrounding states?
Yes, it's interesting you bring that up, because it's only just recently that South Carolina has implemented reciprocity for their concealed carry permits with Georgia. Up until then, it was like my permit didn't work in South Carolina, but it worked everywhere else surrounding, and maybe 45 other states in the union. But now I believe we have reciprocity with them, and I'm sure the reason was because our requirements to obtain a concealed carry license permit is you got to have a pulse, no criminal record, and like $50, and then they just they just issue them to you. Whereas in South Carolina, like North Carolina, where Woody is, I think there was a class and some training.
Yeah, there's actually a shooting test too.
The closest state here, because when I took my course, like they give you, like I'm very, very close, obviously, to Illinois, like only 20 minutes away or whatever. Okay. And so they gave us like, yeah, if you're in Missouri driving around, have that thing loaded, set it on like your seat, just whatever, keep 100 rounds and like 1,000 rounds in the back, just hog wild, hunky dory. If you find yourself on the bridge driving into Illinois and you have that loaded gun with you, you may as well just roll down your window and throw it into the Mississippi. Because if you get pulled over in Illinois with this legal thing in Missouri, you're in a lot of trouble. You will go to jail. So what do? We don't bring our guns to Illinois. Like
I accidentally brought a gun to Illinois once.
That's fucking bad.
I know. And we checked the truck so hard before.
Oh no. But that's just him, right? You still with me, Taylor?
I'm still with you. That's just him.
Kyle typically comes back.
And they checked the truck so hard before. What next?
We're on the edge of our seat. We want to know.
I'm just trying to remember where it left off because it's going to speed up his voice in a couple seconds and it's going to go. And then we went to the show and it's like, oh, well, God damn it, we lost the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how it always ends up
Dude,
going.
So here's the deal. In North Carolina, if somebody is oh shucks, now he moved around. In North Carolina, if someone is entering your house, you're free to shoot. So they told us about this case where oh sorry, Kyle, we lost you for a bit. They told us about this case where a guy was sleeping over at his girlfriend's apartment, right? And bad guy, legit actual bad guy, coming in through the window. Guy had a police record with assault and violent crimes on it, and the whole 9 yards. Boyfriend pulls out the gun, shoots bad guy as he comes in the house. He was in hot water because they're like, sure, you can defend your home, but he's not home. He's at his girlfriend's place right now. And, suddenly like he was supposed to retreat or something. I don't know. But he ended up winning, but he had like
that would be crazy if he lost. What was he supposed to do? Hand the gun to his girlfriend who purportedly doesn't have any gun knowledge? Like, how is that better?
Yeah.
If I'm at Kyle's house and if Kyle's at my house and I assume I know nothing about guns and someone's knocking on my door trying to bust it down, Kyle has to give me a gun and be like, all right, that's the safety. You're gonna want to keep your finger off the trigger until he bursts through the door and starts firing at us.
Don't worry, those are Full Metal Jacket rounds. They're gonna go right through the wall and him.
Yeah, right through the wall and him and your neighbor and your neighbor's neighbor and.
Yeah, so aim low.
Yeah. So to me, my home is wherever I'm sleeping that night. Like if I'm in a hotel room, I feel like the castle doctrine, I don't know if it does, should extend to that hotel room I'm in.
I agree.
I
agree. I think it does. I think there's a whole thing. So I want to talk a little bit about the Britain's exit from the European Union because Chiz just linked it here, and so the votes are being tallied right now. And it looks like the vote to leave has 161,744 votes. Those voting to remain in the European Union, a bit below that, at 158,537. A difference of about 3,200 votes, roughly, for them leaving. There's
I don't see what you see. Where? Oh, I'm sorry. It's at the top center.
Yeah, all right. BBC News. Now, what's really interesting is the other link, the push, showing you the value of the British pound, and it's absolutely fallen to nothing. Kitty was doing something with the pound this afternoon before that happened, so I hope she went the right way. She was like, oh, they voting today, the pound's going to do this and that. I want to make a boatload of money. And she was like moving stuff around, so I hope she did it the right way.
So let me just, to repeat what Kyle said, in 100,000s, it's 161 to 158. In favor of leaving, but virtually tied.
Do you guys have an opinion on this? Or I tried to look into it, very cursory look at the situation, and I feel like from my little bit of knowledge that leaving makes more sense, but I also am not very informed. Like, what do you guys know?
Same thing, very cursory knowledge. Like, I feel like the UK is one of the stronger members of the EU. So if they leave, the EU is suddenly like the B team.
Lesser.
Right?
Yeah. Now it's JV.
And there's some strength in numbers. Like if the euro wants to really compete with the dollar, say, then like England should be in it. But for England, maybe it's in their best interest not to be in it. I know I don't want America to join it.
In some regards, I think it is, and some it isn't, right? I was talking to Kitty about this, and I was asking how her family was voting, and the smart members of her family, who are a bit conservative, I think, were voting to stay. And interesting enough, her in-law, who's from a different country, was voting to leave. I think one of the bonuses that some see from leaving maybe is that they have more control over their immigration policies and their economy. But I think that they also are going to have to pay more from goods from the EU countries now. So I don't know how that's going to affect their economy in the long run, but the idea of not being a part of not having other people decide things for you just feels right. It just feels like a little bit of liberty. I think it
does, doesn't it?
When you hear that oh yeah, there's a big group that we're a part of over there, and they decided this, so we got to do that over here now. You kind of feel a little bit trampled on, a little weighed down by people who aren't representative of you necessarily.
And knowing that group can dictate policies and things to your leaders that you chose. And that your leaders aren't able to do things that they would obviously promise in campaigns because it would, counteract the wishes of the EU or whatever. Like obviously, and I've said it, very simple understanding. But if the UK is so fucking successful and basically buoying the EU, at like what is their incentive to stay in it? Like how does it help them? Or is like. I don't know.
I have a very cursory understanding of it too. When it first started, and I was kind of young, so I feel like you can understand politics, but unless you've understood politics for 10 years, you don't have the context. And that's where I was when the EU started. But it was like, oh wow, so Europe is going to become a country. That's not the start of this thing, but that's how I saw it going. I was like, Europe is going to be like a parallel to America, or maybe even better. I don't know. Now that I feel like it's played out for a while, that didn't really happen. It seemed like the weaker states, for air quotes, have held back the stronger states, and they never quite got along. But my vision of it at the start was that this would become America almost,
God damn it, Lithuania, pull your own weight.
Yeah, except that instead of North Carolina and California and New York, it was going to be England and Germany and France.
I don't know the distribution of power in the EU. So if the Grand King of England shows up and the Prime Minister of Liechtenstein show up, and do they both get one vote?
That's exactly how it works.
If that's how it works, then that's obscene. That's ridiculous, because then it's just tiny little countries.
A while ago, he's very upset about losing this amount of power.
Really? You don't think it's going to give Liechtenstein a chance to finally seize the opportunity?
Well, all dozen of them. On soon. We'll see what he has to say. Yeah, I don't know about Liechtenstein. Yeah, we don't know enough about this to talk about, I don't think. But I think it's interesing. I think
that's the first true thing we've said thus far.
Well, I think it's.
I agree.
Without having any specific knowledge about the ins and outs, it's clear that there are positives to staying and negatives to staying, and vice versa for leaving as well. So I think it's interesting because it's one of the bigger countries in the world making a massive decision, and seeing how it affected their currency is really interesting. So we'll see how it plays out. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't really care either way. I don't because it doesn't really impact me directly. Maybe it'll impact the economy in a way that impacts us eventually, but I don't know. But there is something visceral, like what you said, Kyle, of yeah, they should be able to dictate their own decisions. That's their country. They should be able to do what they want with it, But if most of their country wants to stay in the European Union, then they are doing what they want with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I
like that they are voting. I like that.
I do.
Yeah. I think that's what I like.
I'm really freedom-based in my politics. And I think I've become more so since I moved into this house. I don't know what it is, but something about having a little elbow room. As dumb as this is, and
you're able to exercise some more of your rights, so they mean more to you.
And I recognize that this next thing I'm about to say is dumb, but hang in there because it's just emotional. Something about getting my water from the ground and having my own septic system has made me my own island. It's
hopefully different tanks. Yeah.
Yeah, don't judge.
Hey, we
got a Brita.
But yeah, it's just all right, yeah. So we get the only thing I get from the the grid out there is electricity. And even that, I'm like, wouldn't it be great if I had my own solar? I would have my own like country here. And with the exception of perhaps trash service. But something about that has made me a little more don't tread on me. Like a little more like, like just, I don't know.
Every day that passes that doesn't include you planting your first crop is a shock to me. I don't know. You got the tools, you got the talent, you got the land, you got everything it takes. I am shocked that Colin and Hope are not out there in overalls picking peas or something, or carrots and stuff.
They really should be. Good point. Yeah, I don't know. I've just become a little more don't tread on me, a little more. Like I feel like when I was packed in the cul-de-sac over there, it was like, we live in a community. This is a society. We have rules and understanding. And now it's not that I don't live in a society. It's just that it's a little more like I enter and leave it, whereas before I was always in it. And
you can paint your mailbox however you want now. That's
literally a thing. Yeah, I not only could I not paint my mailbox anything I wanted, I had to buy my mailbox from an approved vendor. You couldn't just go to Home Depot and get a mailbox. Something subtle about it will be different. Oh, is that a plastic red flag? No, sirree. You need a metal red flag in this neighborhood. Your mailbox is slightly different than your peers. And so you would go to an approved, and they were so expensive. It was like $320 for a mailbox or something. And they're like $19.95, but just mildly different. We had a neighbor who'd got a new mailbox, and it was the same in every way, except it didn't have the brass straps across the top. That shit doesn't fly in Amherst. You better find a way to get some brass straps on that mailbox. And
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So now, and by the way,
that's what we need our government doing and investing time in,
well, that's not
making
sure
that we have mailbox continuity.
It's a homeowners association,
isn't it?
Homeowners association is what it was.
Oh, homeowners association,
and which is almost, it's kind of a form of government, and they're definitely supported by the government. Like the government will say, yeah, homeowners. There's a hierarchy of laws. It's like state, county, city, homeowners association, and if it's not defined by those other ones,
is that it is kind of a law, because if you said no, screw you, homeowners association, they wouldn't just say rats. They call their bluff. Like something would happen. So
they could literally take your house from you.
In a way.
Yeah. And my view on HOAs is, if that's what you want, cool. Like when I bought that house, I knew it had an HOA, and I felt like, I signed the papers, I agreed to it, and we had a neighbor down the, like 4 doors down from us. He had a Corvette, which sounds nice, but it was like a project he never worked on, and it literally sat on 4 flat tires in his driveway, if you can imagine this, and the paint on it was getting like cloudy, and you know how you get those like, I don't know, patches, and it looked like hell. And then he put a tarp on it, but the tarp was never like properly put on it, so like the corner would be exposed and it would blow in the rain. And he
no.
Sloppy tarpsmanship.
Yes, right. It looked like hell. It was like a broken down car in his driveway that just sat there for months. And the HOA was like, you can't have that. And I think he sold it or something. And I never said anything. Like I never ratted on anyone, because I'm not a perfect person either. The moment I rat on your car, my yard comes up as a topic.
Crabgrass was not nice. That's one of the things that's so funny to me is like in your last home, we used to talk about how awful your yard was, and I'd be like, yeah, you could put some stuff out here, little turf. You'd have yourself, a couple 100 square feet of grass to put your bare feet on. You're like, fuck it. I was like, do you pay somebody to cut it? He's like, it mostly just dies on its own. Like it's hard to support a stalk of grass taller than this around here. So
it was tough. So our front yard, one, it had a really big oak tree in it, and that apparently like kills all the grass nearby. And 2, it had an incline. And at one time, I remember this, oh my God, I worked my ass off to like take this really hard, compacted, awful clay, and I'm with a hand raking, making it all loose and puffy and nice. And then I spread my it's grass seed on it, and then I put like lime or whatever fertilizer they told me to put on it, and then I put hay on it, and I start watering it daily, and I'm trying to like bring back my front yard. And what grows? The fucking hay I put on it. Like that's it. Now I've got these like this is awful. That's not what I wanted at all. So yeah. Anyway, it was just hard to grow there.
Growing wheat in the front yard, really sparsely.
Yeah, I'm like, there's none of it, like shit. And I did it the right time of year. I thought I did it all right. I suck at growing grass. So anyway, I don't know how I got on this topic, but yeah, somehow moving from that like subdivision to this little oasis has made me just a little more like, yeah, I like rules that let people even do stupid things if they want. I don't think a mountain should be off limits to climbing because it's dangerous. If you want to climb a mountain, knock yourself out. I kind of feel that way about gun rights too. I know some people will disagree. Paramotoring, right? I like the laws that we have now. So you can't bring passengers unless you're like licensed and stuff. But the general idea behind the paramotor licensing is like, dude, you don't need a license. Knock yourself out, because the only guy that gets hurt in this is you, and you're allowed to do that. And that's why there's no like requirements for doing the paramotor thing. So I like.
Want to fly around? You should be able to fly around, just not over heavily populated areas.
That's actually a rule.
There's a lot of electrical lines.
That's not a rule. You're allowed to hit those. Lines aren't breaking in this scenario.
We're gonna get some great live leak clips once this becomes more of a mainstream hobby. Whole montages of people just like bugs on those zappers.
That's like so if you don't hit the ground, then you can fly into power lines. It's just you need to like drop the last 6 feet. I don't understand electricity sometimes, but like I was talking to my brother about like electrocuting yourself and not, and this is when I was wiring the stable, and he's like, but if you're in this situation, you're like a bird on a wire. I don't know exactly why birds on wires don't get electrocuted. Something to do with not touching the ground. I know this intellectually, but I don't know why it never goes up one leg and like takes a little detour, like tests it real quick. I know that if you put like an insulator there, it gets shocked very momentarily before the electricity like figures out that that's a dead end. There's a lot about electricity. If you told me to wire something in serial and parallel, I'd have to look it up again, as I've done 50 times before. It just can't seem to. I suck at electricity mostly. I can wire up a stable because that's fucking easy once you know how, and if you call your brother a lot. But
and if you call your brother, who's an electrical engineer, cake.
Yeah, I do call it more than I should admit. Like, you don't see it on the vlogs. Like, oh yeah, here I am. I just did some 220. It really wasn't a big deal. But sometimes I'll be like, Pat, yeah. Does it matter, like which one's hot and which one's cold, or just like keep them the same? And it does.
Does he ever answer the question?
Doesn't.
Does he ever answer the question like, oh yeah, were you about to do that? Oh Jesus, I was about to be an only child.
No, actually, the one time I asked he's like, it doesn't matter, like morally, ethically, via code or mechanically, like you can change those around. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe that's why I didn't know.
That's a question you have to take seriously. Like if you're an electrical engineer like that, and someone asks you a question like if you're, I don't know, an orthodontist, and someone's like, do I really need? Hey Taylor, orthodontist Taylor, do I really have to floss 3 times a day? No, stop calling me. Whatever, just stop. But if you're an electrical engineer, you have to really take all of those bullshit questions seriously, because you can't just play it off like, yeah, Woody, whatever, it's fine. Yeah, you might get shocked. Okay, I fucking Wheel of Fortune's on. All right, bye. Like, someone could die.
Yeah, it's helpful to have Pat, via phone. People want him as a PKA guest. I want him as a vlog guest. I think that would be fun for people to meet my brother.
Does he not want to do PKA, or does he just not do it?
I bet he'd be willing to do it, but I worry about. First of all, he's a regular person, right? Like he doesn't on the daily talk to 150,000 plus iTunes, whatever, and try to tell entertain. He's a regular person, and then he like I worry that his like mic and camera would not be up to snuff. Like if we grab a random YouTuber, just grab one with 50,000 subs, I bet he's got a relatively professional audio setup and a decent video. But if you just call your like electrician, they might not. So I think it'd be better to like visit him, like go camping or something, and have him on a vlog. People might.
So the vote has shifted towards staying by over 20,000 now. 20,000 votes in the more to remain than to leave.
Almost exactly.
I got all my I've got all my PC parts now. I got my monitor and case and everything yesterday.
Ridiculous.
It's so wide. I love it so much. It's the 34 inches wide, but it's the, what is it, 2540 by 14? No, it's 3440 by 1440.
Something like 36 maybe?
3440 by 1440. It's the ultra wide. It's Go ahead.
We were playing Company of Heroes last night, me, Chiz, and Kyle, and just every like 15-20 minutes or so we'd be in silence playing, and you just hear from Kyle like, "Oh, this is just so great. This is just so great." Like, you just clearly so happy, and I was sitting there a little bit bitter, like, "Oh wow, I can't even see the scared emotion on my soldiers' faces as they get mowed down by, you know, anti-infantry tanks, but Kyle can." Ooh, like, I need to get a nice monitor now.
I have a comparable monitor, Kyle's, except that it's flat. His is curved. Also, his is higher megahertz. This is the latest and greatest, and mine's from last year. But it is great. It's like having 4 monitors almost, because I've got the triple set up. The middle one's pretty much 2. And if you've ever had multiple monitors, you know one is kind of the one you use, and then the other 2 are the ones you, like, I don't know, monitor. Like, put Skype over there, but if you actually use it, you bring it to the center. It's like having 2 in the middle. It's nice.
I'm really
Kitty
digging
tweeted a picture of you sitting there looking like a kid who just had a surprise ice cream cake brought out to him on his birthday, as you were sitting on your couch, like.
It wasn't even hooked up. It's not even hooked up in that photo. I just had put the monitor like on the base. The base is really big and like conceals the cables and stuff and has LEDs in it. So like I get this thing together and I'm just looking at it like it's so much wider than I thought it would be. I've got it. It's great. Really glad, and it's expensive. So I was worried that I wasn't going to like it. It was $1,300 or something like that. And that's a lot for a PC monitor.
It requires that pimp desk too.
Yeah, I got the desk moving along. I went and got some 40-something-year-old lumber that's cut out of telephone poles. It's white oak, so it's dried out. It's hard as a rock. I'm getting it planed today, and I'm gonna it's 9 feet 7 inches from one wall to the other in this room back behind me. So I'm gonna go like wall to wall with the desk and put this monitor and a 40-something-inch 4K monitor on a stand, or I'm thinking about dangling the 40-inch 4K from the ceiling. I saw these ceiling mounts, so it could like drop down in front of this one when I want it to, without there being a whole bunch of hassle. So I might do that.
When you put it on the wall, it's so wide. Awesome. One thing I would consider, so obviously you're going to support it on the 2 sides, right? So you get kind of a floating desk type thing. I wonder if shelf supports at the 1/3 and 2/3 mark would be good. I'm
going to put 12-inch brackets under there.
My first thought was in the center, but that's where you're going to be, so you might not want that. But if you
I'm gonna put some 12-inch brackets there, and I'll have supports screwed to the wall on the side, and I'll put some kind of lip on this thing. I'll find some more hardwood or something that'll look nice.
Like a breadboard front, you mean?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, like turn sideways, so it's just not just the edges of the.
Plus, it can make it thick. Like I've got a. How thick is your board? Do you know what it is? Did they
2 inches?
2 inches? Mm-hmm. So did they call it 8/4?
They didn't call it anything. Like I went and got the wood myself, and like I measured it. It's 2 inches.
That is thick wood. Yeah.
I was hoping that you would get all your setup and you could give it like a baptism by fire with this Company of Heroes 2 tournament that we're missing at this very moment.
Oh man, it was gonna be so I've got to assemble the components. I've got all the components upstairs. My case, my hard drives. You know what's in there, but there's a big pile of stuff, and it's gonna take. I've watched enough videos that I know what to do in step, and specifically with the case I have. Like I found 2 videos that use that case and utilize some of its little shortcuts. So I'm pretty confident I can do it. I'm the only part that I'm a little like, here we go, is putting the thermal paste on and putting the cooler on the CPU. But other than that, like I think it'll take 5-6 hours or something like that to put it together. But I'm still waiting on the graphics card. I want the Asus Strix overclocked edition 1080, and they were in stock. Every time they're in stock, I miss it by like 10 minutes because I've got this alarm that goes off. The last time they were in stock was when we were recording PKN this week. They came into stock for about 15 minutes. When I got back upstairs, it was like in stock, and I go to the website, out of stock. So I'll get it when I get it. I'm not sure exactly when I'll be playing games with the whole setup, but I'm excited about it.
That's going to be cool.
Really neat.
Yeah, it's not, and that 1080 is so pimp. I have a Titan, but it's the old school Titan. Like think of it as a 780 Ti roughly, and at the 34-inch widescreen, new games can test it, man. You know, like it was if I play Rocket League and I use the GPU to encode it, like for a live stream, it struggles. It gets bumpy. Can't do both. But at 1080 or 1440, it can, just not widescreen.
Yeah, I may. This is going to make it a lot easier to make videos, so I may make some gaming stuff because it would render really quickly, and I can play in high. One of the I don't want to. I never wanted to upload like 1080p, 60 frames or 30 frames because I felt like we kind of moved past that, and maybe that's like that's the lowest you can be. Like you certainly don't come out with some 720 shit, so. I can do this in Ultra HD, and that'd be really cool. I watched some videos just on it, just enjoying the high frame rates. This is 100 hertz, so I was just looking for videos that would take advantage of the high frame rate. And
like
I watched
my vlogs, for example.
I did watch your latest vlog. I watched
60 frames per second.
I watched Need for Speed, the newest one, and it's. I don't even like racing games, and it made me want to get it. Like just the wet asphalt looked real. It was very cool. So I'm just big fan of what I bought here.
Laughing at my own vlogs. Like you wouldn't want to watch someone read fan mail in less than 60 frames per second. It just wouldn't capture all the nuance of reading a letter.
So did you guys hear, Kyle? I know you did. You were talking my ear off about it all night. The NHL finally settled on a Vegas team. So the commissioner came out and they're adding a team for Las Vegas in 2017 to 2018.
Who's it going to be? So they're adding a team?
They're adding a team, yes.
Oh, so it's an expansion team.
So they didn't pick the owner yet?
I don't know. They haven't picked the owner yet. They haven't even picked the name yet.
Historically, with Vegas teams, like one of the tricky things, the rich people there own casinos. And they don't like gambling organizations to own their sports teams. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Oh, they do. They have an owner already. I just don't know what he's going to name it. But I think he had to pay $500 million as like, you know how you have to pay a bunch of money to buy a franchise? So it cost him like $500 million.
Oh, sure, I'm familiar with that. Just you don't have to tell me.
Yeah, well, I mean, compared to like the NFL, that's probably pennies. Like if you wanted to start an NFL team now, like I'm starting up the St. Louis Rams too. Like, but it would cost you like billions and billions.
Maybe not for the
Rams. I'm excited for it. I like when there's expansion teams because there's at least a few years there where I don't hate them. And so I kind of can root for them, until inevitably Vegas beats St. Louis in the first round and wins the cup, and then I will hate them. But
no, how do they steal players from the other teams out the get-go? Like that's what they do in basketball.
Yes. So there's an expansion draft, and every existing team now will be able to protect certain players. I don't know specifically how you decide who can be protected, who can't. Some of the players have like no move clauses or no trade clauses in their contract. But yeah, basically a lot of the teams are going to have to say, all right, we're keeping these, 16 guys, and you have your choice of these 6 who you're going to take, and some teams are going to have to leave some good guys out there and just hope for the best. But yeah, I'm really hoping Chicago loses somebody good to them. But what
do you think they're going to name the team? That's what I want to talk about. Like what are they going to name this team?
The Vegas Jokers. Huh? Get it? Like gambling, poker, jokers?
The Knights was a suggestion, like Knights, like as in like a pun on the Vegas Knights and the Vegas Knights.
Yeah.
Aces, maybe.
Ooh. See, that's not as good as Jokers, but I like where they're going.
Still a kind of card, so we're close. I don't know. What would you name them, Kyle?
I was thinking about the teams from basketball, so they had like the LA Riots, the Miami Dealers. It was the Roswell Aliens.
You could do a shout out to the old
Dallas
days.
Felons,
the Vegas Mobsters. I like that.
I would like it if they did something that had to do with prostitution, gambling, money, or something like that. Like,
wait, hooking is a like a penalty in hockey. They could be the Vegas Hookers. Yeah.
And just put a picture of a guy with a big hook.
Yeah. Or he just got a stick.
He's pulling somebody's leg like he's hooking them. Like.
Yeah, I can imagine the chant. Hook 'em, hook 'em.
Yeah. They should totally be the Vegas Hookers. That's the best name we've come up with. Oh, if they put it to an internet poll, 4chan would make that happen.
that team is going to do well and make a lot of money. I'm predicting because it's like if you don't
much like Phoenix and their desert team.
Like football and baseball are popular enough that if you don't like the NFL and they bring an NFL team to Vegas, you're not going to just pop in for a game. Like you're just not going to care that much. It's not very novel. Going to ice hockey games is more novel. You know, like most people don't get to go do that, and it's a sport that everybody knows is fun to go to. Like even if you're not a big fan.
That is going to be the coolest, and I mean temperature-wise, arena on the whole strip. Like, it's so fucking hot out there during the summer. I bet it's scorching right now. I can remember last year, and it was just feeling like I was gonna melt. I'd be down to go to a hockey game in Vegas. That's a good idea. That's cool.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. There's gonna be gambling on it.
Yeah, and it breaks the seal on that too. See, that's the big stigma about having a pro sports team in this gambling city has always been the thing that's held them back. So now maybe hockey breaks the seal, and 3 years from now you get an MLB team or an NFL team or one of the real sports.
So there's a thing. So the NFL is rumored to be going to Vegas for whatever that's worth, and they're also rumoring that I can't do names. The Fertitas brothers are gonna sell the UFC so that they can buy a football team. That's like the plan. There were rumors that they already sold it and then they denied it. So I don't think they'd flat out lie. Like they sent an internal memo to employees like, hey, we get that everyone is reporting that we've sold the UFC. We actually haven't. I don't think they'd send that memo out. But
actually, we sold 93% of it. We'll remain partial owners. So
it appears that there's 2 offers on the table, and they're going to pick one of them. But they're both for over $4 billion. And
billion.
Yeah,
with to dump all of that immediately into an NFL team just to buy one. That's
something
so crazy
like that.
How lucrative the NFL is.
Dana White owns 10% of the UFC. That's what he has. So he would get roughly $400 million. And then they're going to, this is the offer, they're going to give Dana White 6 or 7%. So they'd cash out his shares and they give him 6 or 7% again to keep doing his job. Yeah. So I wonder. This is like, inside baseball where like people don't care about like the minutia of it. But to me, it's the matchmaking. The thing that I love about the UFC is that they don't protect fighters, right? The fights you want, they actually schedule. They don't always happen. People get injured. I've talked about this before. But I mean, fighters lose in the UFC. In boxing, people need to be like 28-0 to capture any attention. And when you have 2 guys that are 28-0, they never want to fight. There's I forget the names, Gugliotta versus some other guy. And the boxing world's excited about it. So they scheduled it for the fall of 2017. Seriously? I'll be fucking even older by then. Like, that's a real amount of time to pass. Like, fall of 2017 for a sporting event? Like, that's forever from now. The Super Bowl will happen again before this fight happens. No,
and then we'll have a good idea.
Yeah, it will,
the next
right?
Super Bowl team is going to. Yeah. Next January, and then a whole year will pass. Yeah.
Every professional sport will have a championship between now and then.
It's like 15 months away. 2. That's absurd. Yeah, I don't like that baseball either. That's the nice thing about UFC. You're right. It seems like things get fired up, and there's a thing coming, and it's coming next week, or it's coming 3 weeks from now, or something like that. This whole thing with UFC 200 and Lesnar is the most far away kind of thing that there's been in a while, where you're like, oh, well, that's kind of a minute away.
I think that's July 8th. That's not that far from now. And
well, when they announced it, 2 weeks ago. It was
okay, but like this event, the UFC 200, is arguably the best card they've ever made. We'll see how it plays out. But they have like 4 people who either are or have been champions fighting. They've got like 2 championship fights and an interim champion fight, if I have this right. Brock Lesnar's fighting on this thing. Like all the way down, Joe Lozon versus Diego Sanchez is a very exciting fight. And I don't just say that as a fan. Lots of people.
Joe's fighting in it?
Mm-hmm. And he's a prelim fighter. Like Joe's a main event fighter all the time. He's in the prelims of UFC 200 just to show you how stacked this card is. It's
I'm excited for him. That's a big deal.
Yeah. It's a very big deal. Joe was on another super card. I forget what it was, but yeah, they typically Joe gets on that stuff. It might have been one of the Conor McGregor cards, but yeah. So if they sell the UFC, I hope that's something they don't change. Actually making the fights that happen, and the UFC fans, to their credit, if they see a guy who's 22-1, they don't say, he's not good anymore. You know, 22-1. Oh, so you're saying he can lose? Well, who cares? Like that's not. There are fighters who are like 22-8, and guys are like, oh yeah, here comes Henderson. You know, I can't wait to see that.
I do like that about the UFC, that it doesn't have that like pretend like everybody is elite thing that boxing does, where it's like, oh, we got Jose Sanchez facing, you know, Tony White. They're both 30-0, and it's like, what kind of fucking dock workers are they beating up after stumbling out drunk from a bar, being like, "Did you see that? I got 3. Throw 3 more on the win column." It's like, that's fucking horseshit. Like, nobody believes you. If you're all this good, then you're not fighting good people. At the very least, it means you two haven't ever met in the ring.
Yeah.
Looks like an oversight.
Yeah, yeah. There are very few undefeated fighters in the UFC, and then you know, freak Conor McGregor, right? Conor McGregor was one of those guys, and then he went up 1 or 2 weight classes, depending on how critically you look at it, and got his loss. And the next time Conor fights, people will still be excited. So that's
Kyle. You still remember your training on how to be an MMA fighter. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna be your manager. We're gonna go to. Where are homeless people not that tough? Seattle. We'll go to the Seattle Wharf, and I'll film as you sucker punch them for so that we know you won. We get you up to 20, 30, maybe 35-0, something believable. We're gonna have to take a dive, make it 35-1, you know, and then I introduce you, Kyle Meyer.
I like this. I'll be kind of grizzled. A couple of hobos will have cut me by then. I'll have a few scars. I like it. Yeah,
what
yeah.
Would your name be?
Oh, oh God.
It would have to be something gun related, almost, like firepower. That's pretty gay.
Know. I was thinking of something that had to do with beating up the homeless, though.
The Vagabruiser.
That's perfect.
That'll do.
Hey, quick interruption. We're going to be adding Anthony. Oh, there he is. So expect the video to be sort of messed up for a bit.
Yes, there he is.
Yeah, anything that
the Vagabruiser. We can think of other good ones too.
Hobo.
Trying to make a pun with the word transient, and it's not working.
Yeah.
Hey, Anthony.
Yeah.
Right away, you need to know we're already live. So
Yes.
It's a thing. I do this fairly on Painkiller already. People know their level of exposure.
I hear you.
There you know. So now that's all set up. How are you, man?
Very good. Let me mute the TV. My life is the television. Jesus.
Good. Let me
sad existence. Yeah, doing good. I just got home from doing the show a little while ago, and I'm off on Fridays, so this is like the start of my weekend.
Nice. Kick off start of a weekend on Thursday night. I like that.
I know. I figured if I was gonna be forced into doing my own thing completely and totally, I was gonna make my hours from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. so I could never wake up late, really, unless I was completely destitute and just a bum. And I was gonna have a 3-day weekend all the time.
Oversleeping anything at 4 p.m. means that major life changes need to be made.
Yeah,
even once, you never wake up at 4:15 and be like, oh really, futzed it today. It's like, oh god, something's wrong and it's endemic.
That's exactly what it is. I just decided if I'm gonna make up the rules, I want a time where I have to be to work, but it's got to be so ridiculous that I could sleep. If I get up at noon, it's like, oh my god, I'm so early.
Yeah.
What time do you go to
Kyle's
sleep?
on that same schedule.
Yeah, right now.
That's the thing. I've been playing World of Warplanes lately, and I got an awesome Satex setup. So I've been staying up till the sun comes up, really bad. But I'm romping on it pretty good. I suck at mouse keyboard first person shooters, but a joystick and a throttle, and I'm in a fighter. Oh my god, I destroy.
Nice.
That sounds fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've been playing this real-time strategy game called Company of Heroes 2, where it's like a World War II top-down thing, and you're kind of moving your armies around. And same thing. We've been playing a lot. My sleep schedule's fucked right now. I'm going to. What's up?
that leads to unhappiness in me. Like if I'm sleeping during the day and awake at night, like it sounds great. Like, oh my gosh, you get to live this nocturnal lifestyle. And sometimes I evolve to that if I have no responsibilities. But you do it for a couple weeks and you're like, kind of sucks. Like I'm not happy.
Yeah. You know what I know? Like what
you've got to bend your day around it, though.
Like when I am up at like 6 in the morning and kind of bitter or something, just aggravated, and I'm not usually up that early, and I'm feeling like I'm really starting the day off right. Like, look at me, season the day, 6 a.m. and I get to like a fucking gas station for an energy drink, and I see some disgusting dude with dreadlocks and just a vagabond looking motherfucker, and I think for a second, I'm like, oh my God, that guy is awake. Like that guy is awake right now, which means I'm not doing anything special. This guy's probably always awake before me.
The day.
Yeah, this guy always thinks he's buying his Black and Milds early in the morning. Like he's starting off the right.
I think the trick to having the awful sleep schedule is still like doing things, despite the fact that the hour isn't necessarily the hour that they would normally be done in. So today I woke up at about 12:31 in the afternoon, and I got up, took a shower, went out. I got all that lumber together and got it planed. I had to make 2 or 3 stops for that, make some calls, stop by my lawyer's office, set up some more paperwork. And came back. I painted the room. I got all my PC parts together for assembly, and then I went outside and got a suntan because I'm pale as shit. It's just too much. Like I was gonna go swimming the other day, and I put my swim trunks on and looked, and it was bad. I was so pale, it's not gonna work. So I went and laid out in the sun, got a little bit of a tan, and then I got myself a little hour-long nap before the show because even though I woke up at 1, I was a little tuckered out from all that work I did in the middle of the day. So I wanted to be nice and fresh for this.
I have the complexion of someone who just got pulled out of a river after floating for days. Like, it's horrible. Like, I took this shit. It's called Accutane. It's like nuclear acne medication. So when I was like in 8th grade, like 14, obviously had like, some pimples. Nothing like terrible, but it's enough to make me upset. And I was telling my mom, like, I hate having acne. This fucking sucks. And she takes me to the doctor and demands Accutane. He's like, I remember his exact words because what he said was, honestly, putting him on Accutane right now would be like dropping a nuclear bomb on a local 7-Eleven robbery. And, and my mom was like, nope, you get him on there, you do it. And so I started taking these pills. The pills, if you've ever seen the containers, it has so many goddamn warnings of words I didn't even know at 14. So I started taking it. Over the course of like 3 weeks,
this is great.
I become a crispy, dry, chronic nose bleeding, just like I like lift my arm too quickly and it's just cracked, like, oh fuck, like god damn it, broke open again like an old balloon, and just it was fucking horrible.
Did you have to
horrible? And now I can't get tans. It made my cholesterol. I had the cholesterol of Rush Limbaugh at 15.
You have lifetime effects?
These pills.
Like, this is still true today? Like, you still have issues from this stuff?
No, it was like, they even told us up front, they're like, yeah, it may make his cholesterol a little out of whack, and then when I went back in there, they're like, oh, Jesus, like, are you, like, straight veining, like, frappuccinos or something? Because this is horrible.
Dude, I took the same shit because my teen acne lasted well into my 30s, and when I was a teen, I think all they had were, like, leeches they would put on you. There was no real treatment for it. So in my 30s, I decided I'm going to go on Accutane. And exactly like you said, with the dryness, you're just going around with lip balm and lotion all the time, and it's just a pain in the ass. And it supposedly just nukes the shit out of any zits that you have and completely makes them go away. But the cholesterol thing, they liver test you every couple of months when you're on it. And mine went like through the goddamn roof. I ended up with a stent. I had to get a heart stent to open a fucking. It just clogged one of my arteries. This was back in like 2000, around 2000. So it's dangerous.
Do you get any acne at all now?
No, it's really weird. You just don't get anything. I still have obviously scarring from when I was a kid, but. No, that shit really does work if you're willing to go through the cholesterol of a fat 60-year-old man. And
wow. I'm
you can't
25
even
now. Took it when I was like 14.
Yeah.
I bet I've had in the last decade, I could count the number of pimples I've had on one hand.
Yeah.
One hand, I'm pale as a ghost. You know, had chronic nosebleeds for a few years. So some might say it would have been just better to wait it out.
I kind of want to try it now because I'm 30.
If you even look at a pregnant woman when you're on it, the kid will come out like a fucking monster. The warnings for pregnancy are all over the packet.
If you want to make a real freak.
You had it before me, obviously, but on the version that I got in like 2003 or whatever, 2004, there were pictures not only of pregnant women holding their bellies looking like, I don't know about this, but also pictures of what your baby would look like if you took it on there. So it was just mangled little golems forced onto the little foil where you poke your fingernail to pull it out.
With peaches and cream skin.
Yeah.
Batman villain.
Yeah, just all like children of thalidomide all over again with Accutane.
Right, but with beautiful, perfect skin.
Yes, beautiful skin though.
Yeah. It does. But
I've heard the abortion rates are skyrocketing in areas where that Zika virus is prevalent.
Good. We don't want those tiny-headed babies. They're not good for anything. A tiny-headed baby does nothing for you. Like it's not going anywhere.
What can they do?
Look.
You guys act like they have no value. They might be like a good source of food. I don't know.
Probably not.
You get it. That's how the disease is spread, Woody. Cannibalism is just going to mutate this thing. You don't want
I didn't know.
Got super Zika.
Well, no, you got to cook it thoroughly, of course.
So what you end up with is like that Beetlejuice guy that we're all familiar with, or you end up with a tiny head, very retarded, like you just a real freak of an individual is what you become. That Zika thing is serious. I wouldn't go compete. I wouldn't if there was a if the circuses were like they were in the old days, it would be fucking. People would want to have Zika babies just to put them in the circus. Yeah,
but that's
people
really
investing
the only
in
line of work. I think that would have been available to Zika babies. And yeah, athletes are pulling out of the Olympics and shit.
I saw that golfer did.
I don't blame him.
That golfer did, but shit, he gets to do something.
Golfer did?
So golf is returning to the Olympics for the first time since 1904, over 100 years. And what is his name? I think his name's Corey McIlroy or something like that. He's from either Ireland or Scotland. I get them mixed up a bit. I hate them both equally. And he said he's not going to compete. But for him, as a pro golfer, it's like, fuck it, I'll go make $100,000 next week. But what if you're the shot put guy or the discus girl, and you're like, well, I guess I'll never compete ever, and my whole 8 years of training were for nothing. I would have. They have the opening ceremony where all the countries are walking out with their flags, and Slovakia. I'd have so much shit on me. It would be caked on like body paint. You would
to me,
my eyeball.
I feel like most of the athletes are like, if I was a shot putter, for example, I would go. I'd like, dude, bring your own bottled water. Don't sleep with the locals. You're good to go. But
whoa, do you know how Zika spread?
No.
Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes.
That does present a problem in my thing.
They said oral sex
to put those babies. It doesn't just create those tiny-headed babies. It also, I was saying, it has these long-lasting effects that mimic muscular dystrophy. This is a serious life-ruining.
It is. Where I was gonna head was there are some events that involve like swimming in the canals, or there's competitive sailing. Right, the sailors, they can't avoid like the local sewage.
No,
just make all the Olympic torches out of those backyard tiki torch things that keep mosquitoes away. Citronella.
For the first time, they're doing Olympic laps in a pool of Purell.
And so when they do the torch lighting ceremony where they light the big one, it's just an enormous bug zapper. Just
yeah.
We got the 100-meter backstroke brought to you by Germex.
I'm going to say it again. I've said it before. I predict that thing will be a fucking massive disaster. Not only are you going to have tons of like sexual assaults and violent assaults on athletes and people who are coming into that country, because it's a real crime-ridden shithole with terrible social services, but you're also going to have tons of people who actually get this Zika thing and it gets spread around the world. It's not like it's the new bubonic plague, but you don't want it. And I think the games are going to be terribly equipped. The facilities are going to be horribly inadequate, and it's going to be a huge embarrassment.
It's in Brazil, right? I didn't know, but it turns out a big chunk of Brazil's economy has to do with oil. And because oil's in kind of a recession, Brazil's having a real hard time right now. So they're like asking for money, and they're just really struggling to put on this show.
Doesn't it cost a ton of money to host the Olympics?
Yeah, it's very, very expensive. So they were asking in that. So you've got this the country of Brazil, the state of Rio de Janeiro, and then the city of Rio, where the thing is taking place in. And I believe what happened was the city of Rio was asking the state of Rio de Janeiro, or the state of Rio de Janeiro was asking the country of Brazil for money. So it's not like they were like, "Hey, United States, we need some loans," or it wasn't necessarily that. But
I think you're right. Yeah,
it's going to be so much worse than the. Do you remember? You remember the Sochi Winter Olympics in Russia, right? And what was funny? There were I don't remember where I saw it. Maybe it wasn't even a hockey player, but it was. They were interviewing like some American and like Norwegian hockey players about like, you know, what they were thinking about the facilities, and it was like, this is horrible, like it's not clean, it's gross, my room isn't even finished, there's drywall and paint buckets sitting around. There were pictures of where these players were staying, and it was just like scaffolding and like wallpaper hanging
so
up.
A lot of them were missing doorknobs.
And then they would ask like the Russian players who played in the KHL and are coming back, and they're like, yeah, it is about what we expected. Not great, but we not here to have fun anyways. So it's like, so you know, Brazilians, they're gonna have an advantage there. They're playing at home. They're used to Zika.
Yeah, they've been swimming in those shitty canals for generations.
It's tradition.
Yeah, like whenever they show, like I've seen photos of like the places where this event's gonna be held here, like it's always boat racing or something like that, like rowing, and it just looked terrible. Like there's a dead cat floating over there, like it's gonna be a real disaster, and it really makes me wonder, why did they have it there? Like I get that it's a beautiful geographic location but like if this thing's going to cost tens of billions of dollars to pull off, and you really need some people who have their shit together, is that where we want to go? Like,
yeah, it's like there's so many. It's like if your friends are like, "Oh, we're having a big party tonight, tons of us. We just haven't picked a venue yet." And I have like a ton of construction going on at my house, and it's getting bug bombed at the moment, and I'm just like, everybody over here, come on. Are you sure? There's a lot of problems. Fuck you. Come over here.
Septic tank is leaking across
I got a really nice place over here in California. We got another really nice place in England over there. No, come over to my bug bomb place, and we'll futz around for a bit. Hope you don't get sick.
Yeah. Like, free bed bugs. No charge. Bring them home.
I don't understand that. I think it's gonna be a real disaster, and it serves them right. Maybe next time around they'll pick a first world country.
I don't want it. I don't want it. Don't you bring that evil on me? You know, like if Raleigh wins that thing, I'm screwed. You know, I'm gonna be paying for it. And what do I get in exchange? Some roads we don't need and a rundown swimming pool. Keep your shit.
You'd love that swimming pool. Like,
I would. I'd take it back. I'd offer my yard.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, we have a free facility over here. There's 12 acres in the back. You can make an enormous facility. Like they move out, you end up with your Olympic village in the backyard. That'd be pretty nice.
Don't we keep them kind of nice here too afterwards? Like for the most part, the Olympic villages are kept nice and they're like tourist attractions. Over in some of these third world countries they've held them in, they just like right after the closing ceremonies, shit's starting to fall apart already.
Yeah,
it's like 6 minutes after it ends, the new king's militia moves in as barracks. Like,
yeah, like in the U.S., typically that infrastructure means something. Like I know we had one in Salt Lake City not long ago, and I'm told, I'm not there, that like the highways they built so that they could have all that stuff has spawned like ski resorts nearby, and that infrastructure means something. Lake Placid, that infrastructure they built there from way back is still a part of like the local economy. But you go to China and you know the pictures look like Chernobyl. You know, like it's just everything, the paint's peeling, it's all a wreck.
Well, I'm
they
sure
turned
like
it into a
China,
sweat factory for iPhones. Little kids are working.
And I appreciate
they
that.
They reconstitute the metal to make electronic devices for us immediately.
Dude, I don't want an iPhone at all. Have you guys seen about the new iPhone? The new headphone jack is like a showstopper for me. You're gonna have to have
what
like
does it do? I don't know.
They're getting rid of the headphone jack, and you're gonna have like
Bluetooth?
a lightning. Well, Bluetooth is a possibility, but also you can plug into the lightning port. And there are some arguments in favor of it. Like you can have a noise canceling headphone that uses the battery in your phone as opposed to needing its own battery. And that's pretty much where the pros end. I guess it could be a half a millimeter.
Anyway, but I see that's a big problem. Yeah,
dude. But like for me, I have two very nice headphones that are noise canceling that suddenly will be worthless unless you want a dongle and screw the dongle life. And then there was something else that and then there's all sorts of other accessories. Like there's a world of like credit card readers and wind meters or arrow meter. I don't even know what they're called. And like there's a whole bunch of things that plug into that thing that are just going to be gone now, and it sucks.
Yeah. So you're going to need like a dongle if you want to charge and use your headphones at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
A dongle like it's 1993.
Oh my god! Yeah.
You need a dongle.
Oh, I don't know why Apple. It's like, oh yeah, this thing is really streamlined and slim, and it's a 0.5 millimeter thinner. You'll love it, but the real use of it is crap. You know, like
with the fanny pack charging station, though, it's quite stylish.
Yeah.
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 Just
I was talking about that today. Like the trick to, I think, the future really opening up to be that future we predicted is battery power. Like efficient, long-lasting battery, or a small power source, a little pellet in the phone, and then the phone's always on and always has power for years. Like that would be the shit.
Yeah.
This charging stuff that we're doing for years and years, and it gets a little better every time, or maybe not, you know, depending on the year and the phone and everything, what you're doing. But we shouldn't have to be concerned with, oh, fuck, I better shut that down. Today on the train, I had like 3% power. I turned the display dark enough where I had to be a bat to read the fucking thing because it's going to run out. And God forbid I go, 10 minutes without my phone.
Yeah. As much as I hate the battery thing that you mentioned and the length of charging, if nothing else changed,
Too long.
but you could charge in an instant, like
Right, yes.
like playing
How do
a video
those
game.
pacemaker batteries
You
work?
know the video games where you can't breathe underwater, but all you do is like pop your head up, and all of a sudden you're like fully breathed
Plug
again.
that bitch in.
Yeah, that's what it needs to be, like Mario.
Yeah, yeah. Just fucking,
great.
like pop your head up, come back down, you're golden. Now you get that. If charging was like that, it wouldn't be such a problem. You just tap into your car, tap into your house, everything would be cool. But that's not what it's like.
I don't even mind charging. I don't. Why get rid of something that's worked so well for so long? I was going to say so many people, but no, it's literally everyone. Everyone
Yeah.
who has wanted to listen to sound, except for deaf people. It's worked for everyone.
I also admire that it's 360 degrees, right? Like so USB, like the old school rectangle one, you know how it's a 50-50 chance of getting it right, and you get it right like 1 in 4 times for some reason. Like but the headphone, it's 360 degrees. Like you can't get it wrong. It's
Boom,
great.
got it.
It's
Don't
it's
even have to look. Got it.
one of the best interfaces that's ever been made in all of technology, and Apple's getting rid of it. And I've got a bunch of stuff that I care about that I suddenly will lose. So
It's needless innovation. Have you ever been on the highway and you see someone driving a 3-wheeled car?
Yeah.
yeah.
What the fuck? Get yourself a real automobile, join this century, and get out of your weird. It looks like it's from hundreds of years ago. Like it's what they tried first, and they're like, damn it, 2 was wrong, or good in a different way. 3 doesn't work. Let's try 4. And then they got to 4, and it was all right. You're never going to see a 5-wheel car. You're never going to see a 3-wheel car. That's reasonable. Just like
the 5-wheel car is actually nice.
At the top of the phone.
Why?
Like
For parallel parking, the 5th wheel comes down and lets you like move it sideways. Yeah.
Isn't that
I'll
really
need that.
alternating
All of a
between
sudden your car
4-wheeled
rotates.
vehicle and a 3-wheeled vehicle, though?
Yeah.
It's got a wheel that drops down so that the vehicle can like twist in place.
If you can't
So that
parallel
for, like-
park without
for, like,
some
parallel
weird
parking.
swivel wheel, then you shouldn't be driving.
Hey, I got no.
That hard.
I can parallel park. Some people can't.
I grew up by the
It's a thing of
beach
pride.
where
It's
parking.
such-
Yeah, every single parking episode through like my learning to drive phase required tight parallel parking because that's what it's like where I grew up.
Dude, you aren't a true man unless you feel pride when you pull into a spot that's like really, there's nothing left between the front and back bumpers. You got right in there. You want to like share it with someone. Look at that. Dude,
Yeah.
dude, I rule.
That's how I feel like when I'm parking in downtown St. Louis, and I'm like, all right, well, I hope this is a good legacy for me when I leave and can't find my way back to my car or something, and I'm murdered in the street. They'll find a nice, well-parked car, and they'll know I was at least organized. But yeah, I like you. That's the only kind of parking where you feel good, like you accomplished something,
Yeah.
even something little.
So Anthony, you got back from some sort of vacation. I didn't follow the details of it.
Oh yeah, I was on vacation in Florida. It was wonderful. I spent 28 days down there.
28 days.
Wow,
what do you know?
Time
Yeah.
for a vacation.
Yeah, it's just an odd, weird number. It was 28 days and five additional days for the pre-vacation.
Which
at a resort called Detox.
Oh, how is Detox? I haven't heard of it.
Yeah,
is that near Disney World?
Yeah, it's Disney. It's amazing. No, I had some legal wranglings that were going on. Apparently, I got arrested in December, like 6 months ago, for a domestic incident.
This is the one with that video. Go on.
Oh, the video! Oh my God! Yeah, it was quite a treat. I obviously wasn't able to say anything about it. I'm still not. But the court thing has just been like dragging on and on and on. I as they say, copped a plea yesterday.
Okay.
And I'm waiting for more time to go by, and then I get an even lower plea. So the system. It's the way the system works. But I went to a rehabilitation facility.
So for what?
Well, apparently I was drinking that night. And they were like, hey, go to a drinking rehabilitation facility. Because
that will aid you some way in these legal in the legal wrangling.
Well, and
I'm just asking.
I looked deep into myself and realized I had to go and take care of some things.
Yeah, Woody, this was a personal decision. Any kind of benefit legally would be ancillary.
Exactly. If it benefits me legally, all the better.
Yeah.
Thank you,
because you have to realize first that you have a problem.
Gotcha.
That's good. Yeah, that's one of the
I
first
appreciate
rules.
that
Probably
explanation, because sometimes I'm slow or sharp as a marble with regards to the inferences. I have a question about rehab. So, when you're there, does it matter who you are? Like, is it a little nicer? Do you get like all-star treatment or?
They were pretty good. They were pretty fucking cool to me. I got to be honest. A few of them knew who I was. Everybody, all the other inmates there knew who I was. So that was cool. But you still got to do all your shit. It was a top-end place. I mean, pool right by the beach in West Palm. Really nice facility. And then, you had to go to some classes and group therapy, which was really amazing. I'm not an emotion guy. Like, I don't sit there and like seeing emotion play out. And there was literally grown men in their 40s weeping, just weeping in a group atmosphere. And I wanted to make an imprint like Bugs Bunny when he would go through a wall, like my body just leaving the room. I wanted out of there.
That's awkward.
It was tough, yeah.
So did they, now
was there anybody there who you were like looking at like, fuck, that guy is a dude who needs to be here probably the rest of his life? Like, anyone who is like, I know with alcohol, at least you start shaking and you can go into like hallucinating and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, had to be a couple
dude,
people.
Everyone else but me that was there fit that criteria. Everyone else. There was some poor old guy who was like 69, 70 years old. And the first day there, they put him in art therapy. They come up with these therapies that are like, what? It's, again, adults. These are adults sitting in a room with construction paper with some guy saying, okay, now draw this. And, draw. I'm like, what the fuck? So he had the shakes so bad. Me and this girl that were there were looking. We're like, what's he drawing? I think it's a hacksaw blade. I think it's an EKG. Every single, he couldn't draw a straight line. I felt bad for the guy.
Oh, that's sad.
But yeah. It was, mostly I felt bad for the people that were there for the first few days. And then I was just like, all right, whatever. I'm here for 28 days. Let me just deal with it.
What was the point of... What was the point of the 5-day pre-therapy? Like, I don't think I understand how this works.
Oh my God. this is something called detox. To detoxify, they don't want to send people that are still all totally fucked up right into the rehab facility. So you take 5 days and they put you in a detox facility, and everybody there is coming off of something. So here's what I did. Here's my I've never been in anything like this situation thing. It was like a Wednesday. I went out to dinner with a girl, and we had we split a bottle of wine. Then I had nothing to drink. My flight was on Friday. So Thursday, I decided I was going to stay at home and watch Clean and Sober and 28 Days with Sandra Bullock. I was going to watch rehab movies just to get a little, glimpse.
Yeah, so Sandra Bullock would teach you what to expect.
So then they send me, I go, again, Friday comes along. I haven't had a drink since Wednesday. So I go and get to the rehab, and they give you a breathalyzer, and it's 0-0. So they're like, oh, well, you got to take some Xanax so you don't have a seizure from stopping drinking. And I'm like, I really don't drink that much. I haven't had I think I'm okay here. They go, no, it's the rules. You have to have it. I'm like, all right. So I took it. 20 minutes later, I'm on the couch like, I'm all kinds of fucked up. So I go in stone cold sober. Within 20 minutes of getting to rehab, I'm annihilated, fucked up on Xanax. It was amazing to me. And every time that door opened up for med time, though, I was right there.
Now you've got a serious Xanax problem.
Were you going up there lying like, I'm feeling a little seizure-y?
Yeah.
Like,
wait a minute.
So how do you pass the time for 28 days? I mean, do they give you like Call of Duty therapy and you just get to play all the time, or like what's up?
Yeah, no, it sucked. I only had my phone like for 2 hours on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They give you your phone. And I started just not even missing it. Like, whatever. I'd get my phone, check some shit, and it wasn't like I sat on Twitter for 8 hours. So it kind of worked out well. There was a pool there, which was great. Some really cool, fun people. I guess
they're fun.
Yeah, once they're
throw
sober,
the best parties.
Such assholes as the stories they told in group. I mean, they would tell stories like I never knew what a handle was, and they go, "Yeah, I was going through a handle a day," and I'm like, "What is that?" It's those bottles with the handle on it, like a jug, a gallon of Captain Morgan or a gallon of vodka, and I'm like, "Yeah, I had those at parties at my house when a fuckload of people are coming over," but they were drinking like the whole thing alone, and some of these people are telling these stories. I'm just like, I don't have one of these. I don't have one of these.
It would have been so funny to tell like your really lame story. You're like, well, one night, and I hate to even say this, I must have drank 8-9 beers, and I'm gonna tell you, when I woke up the next day, the headache.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a headache.
I couldn't even eat until noon.
Right.
Yeah, I went to work. I felt
You won't
like
believe
shit,
this. I was playing pool, missed easy shots. Oh,
Yeah,
the heart.
missed easy shots. Problem. That's when I knew I had a problem.
Did you immediately feel like, the best person in class when you walked in and you see everybody shaking with their drawing and their pencils, and you're like, oh, look at this guy. Oh, you need me to hold your saucer of tea for you?
Yeah,
Mr. Steadyhand over here. Like,
They elected me community president. So I had to be there for like the meetings. I handed out the work details and stuff. And
no, they didn't. Did they really?
I can't tell if this is true or not.
Dude, I swear. I swear. It was. I was like the president.
You're just
and I had to give out like the reading assignments, like because people would read aloud from the big AA book during some of the morning meetings. So I did that. I had to hand that out. So I was El Presidente. I guess it was because I really wasn't all that fucked up when I went in there.
Yeah, so you immediately, that's a handle a day. Like, if someone told you, I'll give you $10,000 a day for every day that you can drink a whole handle by yourself, how many days do you think you could even do?
First of all, I would probably die before that.
So,
and you're passing out. You're not. I don't know how he did it. And then he said he broke one on the bathroom floor. and got on the floor and started sucking it up.
As you do, yeah.
I don't know. I grabbed the wrong beer off the table.
And I swallowed it anyway.
Yeah.
When
I
I
read the whole thing and I realized I was drinking a Coors.
when I was a child
Yeah.
and not strong enough to pour a whole gallon of milk, that's how I cleaned the counter. That was I had a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. Man. Yeah, and then I got out, and then I came back to work, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're so tan." And
But how about the other stuff? Like, I have this notion, like, even if you didn't have a heavy alcohol addiction, did it cure your other addictions, like Reddit or Twitter or, like, I don't know, something else? Like, talk
crazy
to me.
broads.
Like, dude, if that happened to me, we could maybe kick my Reddit habit, right? Even though
you know what, I did take in what was available and what might have helped with some things. There's addictive personality, you know. I know I have that, and the fact that I was on Twitter 8 hours arguing with nobody about nothing, like
with
I
some
really
egg.
had to get a handle on
Screaming at the wall.
Were there any attractive women in rehab?
A couple, yeah. There was, but having sex in rehab is right below drinking. It's right below drinking. They will just throw you the fuck out of
Kyle,
there. Really?
Those women tended to be over 21. We weren't interested.
Yeah. They were I call them old broads. No, there were a couple of goers there. You know, a couple of girls that were pretty fucking kind of cute and wanted to do stuff.
Yeah, I bet for a fifth they'd have done anything.
Yeah. You just bring in a little Coke with you and.
But having sex is like a big offense. I don't really get why.
It's huge. Like, they really made sure nothing was going on. One girl, she decided she was gonna, like, I was in the pool like this, and she swam up, like, upside down, backwards, up like that, and just started going this to me.
The old scissor stroke. We did it in college.
I'm like, we're in fucking rehab. What are you doing? And she's like, well, no one ever pushed me off of them before. What the fuck? I'm like, it's rehab. I go, believe me, any other place would be great. But no, we can't do that. And then, like, they found out about that and talked to me. They were like, we heard there was an incident in the pool. And so I was like, look, everything's cool. No fucking report is necessary.
Don't you hate it when they refer to something you did as an incident?
An incident, yes.
Yeah, you're like, shit, it wasn't really an incident. Let me explain how this all went down. Incident always has this negative connotation where, like, you were up to no good, making dirty plans, like you had a scheme. Incident.
Well, there were some girls that would hang out on the couch in the room where there was the TV and everything, the community room, and there were blankets in there. So a guy and a girl would put a blanket over them and just diddle each other and fucking, you know, play with each other and shit. So that became something you couldn't sit close to another person.
In Florida, you say?
Yeah.
Typically, I think of that as the airplane move.
Yep. Yeah. There were a lot of, you know, there's another girl that was there that wound up fucking one of the guys that were there with a girl keeping lookout. It was, you know, people do what they want if they want to.
I can't imagine being in that situation. I really like my freedom. I really like the ability to be like, you know what? Fuck all this. I'm going out and just get in my car and go.
That's what I do, and it freaked me out. Especially at first, I'm like, I really don't like. And not to mention, I had a fucking roommate. So I wasn't even in the room alone. I've never had like a roommate in the same fucking room. And you know, I had to do a little chores. You know, not the toilet cleaning stuff, but make sure your bed's made and things like that. I'm like, I haven't made my bed in decades.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I forgot. Oh.
Was there security? Like, technically, if you wanted to just walk out the front door, would you get there, or are there like magnetic locks?
You could leave, but you know, you'd be AMA, against medical advice, they call it, and you know, and it's just counterproductive, especially to what I was doing.
But so it's not like a prison where you would have a hard time leaving.
Sometimes it is, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes it is. This one, like, they had some rules, like no food in the rooms whatsoever. You got to keep it in the kitchen and write your name on it and hope no one stole your shit. But people stole people's shit all the time. So I had things that I just wanted to kind of at night, get up, go into my drawer and grab like fucking beef jerky or some shit like that. So I kept a lot of stuff in my drawers, and the guy would say, "Oh, we're going to be looking at rooms today. Make sure you don't have any food in there, and make sure everything's clean." So I was like, "Oh fuck!" So I took the food out of my drawers. I put it in my laundry basket and covered it with laundry, and then took some like underwear and put it on top to see if like hopefully he wouldn't go through it, and he didn't. So, that was the trick that worked. So, I thought he was going to take a stick and start, like,
he comes in up against the wall.
Yeah.
Don't look at me if I didn't
They're tossing the cells. They're tossing the cells. Guys mopping. I'm making fucking booze in the toilet.
Little kites, tossing them through the other doors.
What says you, fuzzy britches? He throws a fucking chess piece. It goes through the wall.
Was it
great
all
movie?
Drugs?
Yeah.
Like not alcohol, other drugs, or were there like also fat people there who like were having trouble with eating, or like? I just wonder what kind of addictions were they all?
Yeah, I think the peripheral stuff like being fat or having OCD, that kind of was in there, but not as that. It was like a fat person with a drug problem.
So you're saying concurrent clapping and tapping from the adjacent building, the OCD ward.
We would.
You look over there at night, the lights are just on, off, on, off, on, off.
I see the locks, like just.
Damn it! Lights out, I said!
I know, but I need to do it 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just need to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I could just.
Yeah, just fucking going crazy, trying to make sure the door's lined up right, the door's opening. Just some lunatic. The big day was when we went to. We got to go to Walmart on Saturday. That was your big party right there. They would load us into these white vans that they affectionately called the druggy buggies.
I like it.
Yeah. I had to get into something called the druggy buggy, which I felt just great about. And then we'd go to Walmart, and they'd kind of keep an eye on you as to what you were buying. But even if they weren't, at the end, when you got everything, you had to hand your receipt over to the guy to make sure you weren't buying anything you weren't supposed to be buying. And some people would like ring up one thing, like a bottle of NyQuil, and stash it and get the receipt for that, and then ring up all the rest of their stuff.
Wow.
And then have NyQuil to drink.
Yeah.
Man, you got to be desperate to be sneaking NyQuil.
Will.
Yeah.
Are you just really congested?
Oh, I know. That's
Not after this.
That's how they kind of, because as I was talking with other people, they started saying like, "Are you really here for drinking or anything? Like, you don't really seem." I was like, "Yeah, well," and then we were talking about NyQuil, and I said, "Oh yeah, I love that stuff. It just fucks me up. I fall right to sleep." And they go, "Oh, see, so you're not fucking Mr. Squeaky Clean." I was like, "No, when I'm sick, I would take fucking NyQuil. I have some at home now. I'm not compelled to fucking chug it down." I had a handle it.
They're like, you have NyQuil?
Yeah.
You holding out on us?
Yeah.
They were talking about hiding like bottles. Their wives were there, mothers that have kids and husbands that they just like booze was more important than their family, and they were gonna, they'd be crying after a week, going, "I want to see my kids and my husband." You're like, what the fuck are you even doing here? I understand it's an addiction, and that's the whole thing. It's very bad and pulls you right in, but my God, man, it's not like you're just a shock jock from the radio that ran into
the alcohol thing is serious stuff. Like, that's a disease, and it's one of those diseases that actually has some effect. You get cirrhosis of the liver. There's all kinds of things that it'll kill you literally, or it can ruin your brain. It can just make you a hollowed out version of your former self after long-term use. But I kind of want to go there to make fun of the people who are there for like laughable things, like the OCD or the fat people, because I'm into that. Yeah, I would love to just be over there, like go to fat people rehab to lose like 8 pounds or something. Like, yeah, it's swimsuit season's coming up.
Oh,
I gotta trim
just like, I'm really putting it on. I don't feel good about myself. I caught a look in the mirror the other day. Oh, I was horrified.
Look at this. I'm 190 right now. 190. I'm only 6'1". This is bullshit.
This is the heaviest I've ever been. I'm embarrassed.
Meanwhile, there's an elephant over there who's 1,000 pounds.
Have
just
you ever
I
melted.
didn't know they had rehab for
My
for
Strange
eating.
Addiction.
Oh yeah.
There is episodes on that show, My Strange Addiction. I cannot believe that some of these are real. Like some of them, there is a woman who is addicted to like taking soiled diapers that babies have peed or defecated in, and kind of like just like they're all wrapped up, all neat, and she kind of like sniffs them, like compulsively, and then like puts them in her mouth and like she's tasting a wine or something, just like, oh, that's a Thursday apple juice and applesauce, a nice mix. All right, this one's peas. Like it, fucking disgusting. This lady's putting them in her mouth. I would think it was fake if they didn't have a couple shots of showing the soiled diaper on screen, like getting folded, and her like,
fuck. Yeah, there's no reason for that. I don't know. Some people do have some wacky compulsions.
Well,
and fat people just they love being fat until they're not fat anymore. Then they talk about how that was the worst thing ever. Like they lose weight, and then it's like, oh yeah, that sucked being fat. Yeah.
No fat person has ever lost weight and been like, God, I don't feel like I have that mass anymore.
Right,
like people aren't inconvenienced by me on public transport. like no, everybody's always happy when they're like, God, I fucking hated myself, and I thought everybody was always noticing, and it's like, well, we were. There's no way not to, but good for you.
Now I'm able to seesaw. It's a brave new world.
It's funny how the addictions work, right? Like I was listening to, I was a lead singer for like Poison. That's who it was. And apparently he got fat. Not super duper fat, but he got fat. And he's like, Hollywood is crazy, man. Like you can be hooked up on meth or alcohol or cocaine, and everyone kind of accepts like, yeah, you know, you're a rock star. But you get fat, and they're like, what happened to you? Oh my God. Like you really took a turn south. And he's right. And it's just like, yeah, dude. And something about like if you eat too much food, it is really front and center.
You can do 4 grams of Coke a day, nobody blinks an eye. You eat 4 large pizzas, you're not getting any more gigs.
Yeah.
4 grams of Coke a day, people are going to be batting some eyes. Like you can't.
I have no idea. Is that a lot?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of cocaine to be doing.
A lot of cocaine
every day. You know, that's a Memorial Day weekend kind of thing. You know, be responsible.
I think the food thing, the overeating thing, is probably the worst because you have to eat something to survive. Like if you decide you're never going to drink again or never going to do drugs again, you can not do that ever again. But eating, it's like, oh, I have to eat, but not as much. So that's probably one that really is a tough one to get past.
That's got to be one of the hardest to beat. Yeah,
probably
absolutely.
so, but it doesn't have the same chemically addictive nature that right. Nicotine or alcohol. You don't become dependent upon it. We all love food. I love food so fucking much. It's my favorite thing.
It's chemically addictive in a different way.
It's like real close with sex.
Releasing like serotonin and dopamine in your brain when you're eating something that you like. You know, in the same way that if you're smoking a cigarette, that releases some dopamine for you as well. Just like a different avenue to get there. Because we really only enjoy, 2 things? Serotonin and dopamine? Isn't that about it? Maybe norepinephrine if you're uppers. But for the most part, it's all just different avenues of getting to those same chemicals.
That's my favorite. I would rather feel, I would rather have the epinephrine than some warm feeling that, yeah, that was nice, wasn't it? Like, I don't want the dopamine. I want the epinephrine. I really like the thrill-seeking kind of like, oh, God, that was scary. That was amazing. Did you do that? Did you see that? Like, that's what makes me happy.
I have no idea about these things. Taylor, do you want to just lay down the basics for those of us who haven't studied dopamine, epinephrine, and serotonin?
There are 3 long words that make you feel good, and they happen in your head.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we get from kindergarten to 1st grade?
It's just, I basically explained it. Like it's just different avenues of releasing the same chemicals in different ways. So
it's the reward structure that our brain has.
Yeah, it's just the reward system that your brain has. Exactly. You're going to feel good from cocaine, and you're going to feel good from alcohol in different ways. But you're still just, antagonizing that reward system, getting it to constantly pump out dopamine. And eventually, if you become an addict, like an alcoholic or something, you're pumping out so much pleasure hormone that when you do stop drinking, your body's like, well, we don't even need to produce this hormone because this chemical because we're constantly getting fed it by an artificial means anyway. And then you go into depression and whatnot. That's when you hear about people who have been on coke benders and they commit suicide or something like that because they're so amped up and they're used to such a high pleasure threshold, and then it just immediately gets cut away.
Yeah, you can never get there again.
So you made it seem like dopamine was kind of a chill, happy, whereas epinephrine was an adrenaline associated thing.
No,
it is adrenaline.
Norepinephrine is just what the new name for noradrenaline.
Okay.
It's what they used to call it. But yeah, it's just different avenues of getting pleasure, and different things impact you in different ways. But it's all like the whole point was like you get addicted to stuff in a similar way in your head. It just kind of is what is your poison, you know? Some people it's booze, some people it's cookies, some people it's dirty diapers. I guess one person it's dirty diapers.
That's so disgusting. That's the worst, right? Like dirty diaper. Ah.
Why can't it be water? Like, imagine water, just like, oh, this is great. I'm feeling great. And no hangover, no nothing.
So hydrated.
Like, yeah, it's all the time.
Dude, the hoarder stuff is just as gross to me. Like, you know, this, like, stacked floor to ceiling full of junk. They associate value with things that other people wouldn't associate. Like, I saw that, like, you can buy broth in, like, a box, almost, like, instead of a, you know, it's a liquid, but it comes in a box.
Carton.
A carton, thank you. So it had like swollen from being way past its expiration date. It was disgusting. Oh, did you? And, you know, but to her, it was like, you know what? If the bad times come, I'll want to have that. And that was
good.
No,
yeah, but that was the core of all of her thinking. Like, oh, this cardboard box, I might need that for a thing. Come down there. You know, there'll be a day when, like, I'll appreciate the value in all this junk.
Have you noticed they do the thing where they can't just take the disgusting, gross man's things and just be like, all right, this whole team start moving it to the dumpster. They move it to the front yard, and then this slob has to sit there and sift through boxes of trash and then that psychiatrist has to sit there and be like, oh, we've got a cat skeleton in a shoebox from 1979 here. Do you want that? Yeah, well, you know, that was Snuggles 7, and he was always special in my heart. And even if his eyes were eaten out by the other malnourished cats living in my home, I still want to keep it. Like, okay, we're going to take Mr. Kitten's corpse and we're going to put him over here in the keep box. And it's like, no, how about you fucking... You need to tell this person no. The ship of keeping dead cats in your home has sailed. It's over. You can't do that anymore. When neighbors are complaining because your house smells of dead animals in 2016 in the United States... It's an issue.
And oftentimes they're really unsuccessful. Like, they'll devote 10 days to cleaning like a single wide trailer, right? And then what do they actually get done? They clean the kitchen of it. And that's it. Yeah. Like, they couldn't, like, other rooms are still, and it's hard, it's difficult to picture. It's like a dumpster stacked floor to ceiling full of stuff with paths that you can walk through that are often somewhat littered as well.
Yeah, and, it's so goddamn disgusting. Oh, I like the ones where they throw away the shit that was supposed to be put aside for the me idiot to go through, and they throw it away, and then the next scene is the person on it, the stark raving lunatic pulling through the dumpster looking for a stuffed bunny with a missing leg or something from my childhood. And me.
Like, some of the things we talked about, like, almost always, like, the things you mentioned kind of sort of maybe have some sentimental value, like the cat skeleton, which is gross, but like in a twisted part of me kind of gets it. But this is like expired food that they keep, you know, fruits and vegetables with mold on it, boxes, and like, you know, ripped open plastic containers.
I saw one where every time they wiped their ass, they took that soiled piece of paper and threw it in the shit paper pile on the floor.
Oh, God.
And they just shitty paper go in the shit paper pile.
And they've just been doing that forever.
Where do you put your shit paper?
Like keep in mind, he's shitting into a perfectly good toilet. Like, he's just wiping his ass and saying, clean. And then throwing it with the rest. And on the floor, there's just this big pile of wadded up toilet paper with shit on one side that he's folded together and, like, stuck the shit in the middle like some sort of surprise for the next guy.
If you've ever been to a third world country, that's what you do. Now, they throw it out, of course. They don't just keep it forever. But, like, we've talked about this on the show before. I feel like, I'm like, oh, my God, someone's going to be judging me by my shit paper. You know, they're going to be like, oh, Woody, third world food not taken well to that belly, huh? Like someone's going to be judging my digestive system. So I'm always trying to make sure that, like, I have a final fold when I put it in there that they can't see, you know, just in case someone opens it.
There was one episode of Hoarders where this lady and this other guy who lived in this house, their toilet broke, and so this was like mid-hoard. You know, this was like year 6 in a 10-year hoarding bonanza for these people. And instead of getting their toilet fixed, they just started shitting in bags and just heaving it up the stairs. And they just didn't they didn't go upstairs anymore. It was like, that's the second story is the shit story. We just shit in bags and then we went up there, leave it for decades. That was one episode where the guy coming in, that overly nice guy had to come in and actually talk to the crew and be like, we got to shut this down. Like, we can't have you guys walking around in tepid, humid air with decades-old feces floating about. Anything could be in there. That's where the Zika virus came from.
They needed like a spacesuit.
Yeah.
They needed a spacesuit as far as that's concerned. We all have a little bit of hoarder, especially like I can go into my office over here, go in the closet, and find old printer serial cables, cables and shit. I have old like joysticks from games that still would have to screw into your graphics card, like just ridiculous peripherals. And I don't know why, I just don't throw them away.
So I'm a computer guy.
Your home and you're forced to shit in unnatural places, then we'll have a problem. But
then there's an issue.
Old electronics in a closet in a mansion, so we're okay.
As a computer guy, those things are my absolute nightmare. Like some relative calls up or friend of a friend, like, hey, I got this new MacBook Retina Pro. Can you help me get my scanner to work with it? And it's got like an LPT2 cable from like 1993. I'm like, no, I can't. I can't get it to work with this. You fucking get a new scanner from this decade. You're out of luck.
I've got lots of stuff too. I get sent a lot of stuff, like gun stuff. Like there's an extra barrel to a pistol here. Like I got little things like this are laying everywhere. It's got a thing stuck to it, but like they're everywhere, and I don't know where to put them.
What is that behind you? I can't. Is that a tripod on the couch? It's over your left shoulder.
Oh, no, I got my vectors here.
That's what it.
Yeah, and then behind that I've got my rifle.
Is that
we need to ban that. We need to ban it.
It's scary looking. I don't appreciate it because I don't understand it.
I hand painted this one.
What is that one?
That's an assault machine gun pistol rifle clip mag.
You know, the founding fathers didn't imagine that. The founding fathers are the kind of men who thought progress stops here. Right. Will be achieved from here on out. No, there will be no innovation. Which, first of all, you were allowed to have cannons under the Second Amendment back then, so that whole point is bunk. But whatever.
And in their life,
you still have them.
The progress happened during their lifetime, thinking that it was just going to stop there.
Yes, yeah. A few of them lived old enough to see like the first lever action rifles, and they were like, "All right, whatever, we saw this coming because we're not idiots."
Really gonna get it now? That's what they said. They didn't give a fuck. That's a Remington 700 stuck in like a $700 or $800 chassis. It's a steel chassis. It's 10 round detachable magazine and a suppressor. 308.
10 rounds, we approve, but barely.
Yeah, well, it's a bolt. I mean, you know.
Barely.
Kyle, quick update. Who's winning the leave or stay thing?
Oh, they are voting to leave. For a while there, the vote to stay in the EU had ilked ahead. But let me refresh it right now and get you the.
By about 100,000, they're going to leave. So it's about 10% ahead.
Wow, I didn't know that. I thought
by
they were
50,000. Yeah, 50,000 votes for ahead to leave. Yeah.
It's 120,000 on my screen.
Oh yeah, you're right. I see it now. It's 140,000 on mine.
They're winning by 140,000 now.
Yeah, with 2 million votes counted.
Man, is that early enough? Like statistically, I don't know for it to be significant.
I don't know.
I heard that staying was in the lead there, and they were pretty much saying, well, if it goes the way the exit polls are going, but wow, that's surprising.
I'm somehow very interested, yet completely ignorant on this topic.
Yes. I just think it's kind of, I want to see like a powerful British empire at some point, not just another piece of this shitty European puzzle that they've become.
Look out, India, we're coming back.
Yeah, making a comeback.
Look out, U.S.
I like those English.
I was watching Peaky Blinders the other night, and it takes place post World War I. and they're talking about getting ex-British military for like an operation they're doing, some criminal thing. He's like, and don't get any more that served in India. They hit too hard. And to me, that was like, wow, the British were hard fucking core at the turn of the century.
Well,
don't get any more that served in India. They hit too hard.
Those old days where the sun never set on the British Empire, and now it's like the sun is literally setting on the British Empire. It's like terrible.
In the middle of
now
the day.
They've got like what, one time zone?
Yeah,
that's it. That's all they get.
Where the Falkland Islands at? They've got a few islands, right?
Oh, they still have the Falklands. Yeah.
The British Isles, all that stuff. So yeah, I suppose they got some more time zones, but they used to have huge swaths of the entire planet, from Australia to India, all over Africa, South Africa, all those places. America.
Kick-ass fucking navy if you got out of line.
Yeah, they come in there and burn your crops to the ground, salt your fields.
Yeah.
And whoop you too fucking hard, apparently. Yeah, the British used to really run a global empire.
Yeah.
Let me sneak an ad in while Woody has stepped away.
Sure.
Here. This episode of Painkiller Already is being brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Guys, we really appreciate you listening to the show, and we wanted to do something to thank you. So we contacted our friends over at dollarshaveclub.com and arranged for them to give new members a month of executive razors for free just by buying a tube of Dr. Carver's shave butter. We're super excited they're doing that for you now, so let me remind you why millions of others have joined me as proud members of the club. DollarShaveClub.com delivers amazing razors right to your door for a third of the normal price that those greedy razor corporations charge. That means that when you join the Dollar Shave Club, you can afford to shave with a fresh blade anytime you want, which feels fantastic. I get a first-class shave when I use the Executive blade, and that's without even hurting my wallet. And when I use the Executive with their Dr. Carver's shave butter, the blade just gently slides for the smoothest shave ever. Shave butter isn't your average shaving cream. It's a unique conditioning formula with high-quality, natural ingredients that leaves your skin feeling incredibly, unbelievably soft and smooth. Now's a great time to join the club. New members who buy a tube of Dr. Carver's shave butter get a month with the Executive razor for free, so take advantage of the special offer today. It's available by going to dollarshaveclub.com/PKA. That's dollarshaveclub.com/PKA.
Good stuff. We love Dollar Shave Club. Thank you for your sponsorship.
We do.
If you need to shave, use our code. Do that thing.
Yeah.
Gotta love your sponsors.
So Woody, do you want to give the viewers a little update, and maybe Anthony too, a little update on your flying, your airman stuff?
Woody is what we like to call a flyboy.
Oh, wow!
I'm
an aviatrix.
Do you know what a paramotor is, Anthony?
Yes.
Okay, for people
they look awesome. It's like that parachute. But it's motorized.
Yeah, with like a fan on your back.
A little fan on your back,
and
yeah.
I have a little bit of acreage here, so I would just theoretically be able to, like, step out my back door and fly away into the sky.
The sky.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, and there really isn't an update since we last spoke. What it is I've had enough training to fly. I'm, like, there. Next time I do my thing, I'm going to step into the air. But we need good weather, and that's where it is. I haven't kited this week, which is my practicing, because it's a fucking 100 degrees out, and I would die. 101 degrees, to be more specific. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to fly soon, and I'm very excited about that.
Now, how do you practice this without actually flying?
So it turns out 90% of it is just being able to control the wing, like during takeoff and landing. So
I've heard 50% of it is just showing up.
You'd think like flying a kite is easy, so therefore flying a wing is easy, but it's 26.5 meters. And like as the wing shifts, or like if a thermal swings by, it takes you up off your feet and you land like 5 feet over. And you just got to kind of handle that coolly. Like, all right, yeah, now we're here, now we're airborne. Same thing. Now we're landing. All right, get your bearings again. And you manipulate it until you keep it up. I'm pretty good at it now. Like, it's pretty hard to.
How do you control like the various roll, pitch, yaw of it?
There's two brakes. There's a left brake and a right brake. And if it's getting too far over you, you pull both of them. If it's going left or right, it's a combination of pulling the right brake and then shifting your feet under it.
Okay. So you could pull both of them and go
Yeah, and it kind of stalls it. You talk about being while you're flying. You're not talking about kiting. So while you're flying, the altitude is completely determined by the motor, right? So if you give it more fuel, it'll pick up altitude.
Oh, right. Okay.
And
if you not about that motor part. Oh, so when you're kiting, you're on the ground and you're just controlling it to see what the wing does.
Exactly.
And you are going to be scared fuckless when it first takes off in the air.
Dude,
Suddenly I feel like a feeling of no control is going to fall over you, maybe. Of like, I'm in the air with a fan on my back and a parachute that I'm hoping has enough air in it so that I don't die.
The closest I've come to that so far is like, I'm like running with the engine on my back, but turned off, and it gets lifted, right? So now this thing, which weighs like 75 pounds, suddenly weighs like 5. And I'm right there, like, you know, but I haven't actually. Well, the only flying I've done is like down bunny hills, you know, like almost like an aerial sled ride. I haven't
jump and a little air.
Yeah. I get like maybe 12, 15 feet in the air and then land 100 feet down the hill.
Kyle and I have been watching with Woody crash compilations of people in paramotors who, you know, because that's the thing with these paramotor falling videos, people crashing, is you look up and it's like, that looks exactly like everybody else who did this successfully, and then just as an act of God, he seizes the wind and these people just and it just looks like they just fall out of the sky with a 75-pound Home Depot fan strapped to their back. They slam into the ground. Like, this is not a joke.
He's
hobby.
so
like,
right.
Seriousness, it's dangerous.
It kills me. So sometimes when I watch him, I'm like, all right, I've completely identified that guy's mistake. He used a lot of brake without a lot of throttle. You know, he shouldn't have been making course corrections that low to the. Other times, I'm like, I don't know what he did wrong, which means I'm totally a candidate for doing that thing also.
Without knowing exactly what happened to the guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he should have taken Delta instead of his own airline.
It's all for fun. Like, I've had people tell me that I said it had like utility. It doesn't. Like, it's not a better way to get. That. Yeah, no. And
that's just.
Yeah, it's. I've never ever said that this had any useful value at all. What it's for is I'm excited about having this privileged perspective on Earth. Like, it seems really neat to be able to just step into your backyard and fly into the sky. And
that's what drones are for.
and now I'm just like I love that too. Like, it's a privileged perspective. You can fly. It's called a wing. You strap your wing on and you soar away, and you get to see Earth from a way that other people don't get to see it. It's pretty neat.
Will you ever use the thing to like complete some random errand? Like I want you to go to town, get a pizza, and then fly on back.
It's like, if that were to hypothetically happen, it still wouldn't have been the best way to make it happen. You know, like I would really be kidding myself and think, like, you know what, the best way to get to Papa John's is by paramotor.
Given the weight requirements of it, I would love to see you kind of land at Little Caesar's Pizza, and you go in, buy a hot and ready and a 20-ounce soda, and you stand there and you pour out half of your soda and you throw like 5 pieces out, and you're like, all right, and we're good to go. No, one more piece, and now we're good to go. We're airborne. Because there is like
I could either leave half the pizza here, or I gotta leave my shoes.
My instructor
gotta really make those decisions.
My instructor was telling me about another instructor who's a big man. Apparently, he weighs like 340 pounds. He has a special paramotor that's like made just for him. He has a wing that's made for tandem. Like, normally 2 people use it, but he just uses it solo. And apparently, this guy is like a ballerina. Like his whole life, he just kind of slugs around. He's like a regular person.
No, he's like a pendulum.
But in
it's like a pendulum.
So like his whole life, he just looks like a regular big guy. But when he goes to like launch it and step into the air, he's amazing. Like, his technique is flawless. He takes it up, everything's in perfect control. He spins, he takes a step or two, and he's off into the sky. Like, he's just got it nailed. Whereas beginners kind of just run a lot and they're real thumpy and jerky.
Unless you're like a professional athlete, I never buy that shit of like, man, he is fat, but he is quick. You wouldn't believe it. And then like, you see clips of it online or something of like a fat guy doing a backflip or like running really fast, and it's like, if you were to just superimpose, or if you photoshopped that guy into a normal sized person and showed me that clip, I'd be like, why are you wasting my time with this normal man running an average speed? Like, why? But no, it's just because you don't expect it. Like, I don't know. There's no way that dude is up there, deftly maneuvering in ways that other people can't because he's got 2 fans on his back instead of 1.
Every so often you see a really big guy hit the dance floor, and they can dance, and it's like,
very
holy
short
fuck.
intervals.
Yeah, that's true too. But it's like, how did he do that? Like, how does he even practice long enough to develop that skill?
Thriller dance.
but that's still neat. I think it's cool to beat expectations like that. So Anthony, you back doing your show on the schedule again?
Yeah. I've been back about a month now, which is nice.
Did you in YouTube?
If you calming down a little bit
in YouTube, if you take a break like that, you almost have to rebuild your audience. Did any of that happen?
No, which was cool. I had a bunch of the comics and other guests. They guest hosted my show for me for the whole time, so that worked out really well.
That is nice.
I think people just wanted to see what the hell I would talk about when I got back. So they hung in there for me to, they didn't know if I was going to be like, Jesus once said.
I knew you wouldn't.
One day at a time. And,
I'm turning the other cheek.
Oh, you bring that up. I gotta talk about my mom a little. Apparently, so my mom and my dad split. And so apparently my mom has become hyper religious since then. Apparently she says that she's just going to let God guide her the rest of the way. Oh, I hate when I hear that.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel. I just kind of do my own thing, and God guides me on through. Like you're just putting a blindfold on and saying, "Fuck it."
That's just a pious way of saying I'm not responsible for anything I do.
Yeah.
One of my least favorite things is when people in business invoke God. This has happened to me recently, but I don't want to talk about who. And they it's like their shield, like this sort of like, oh, no, what? Do you feel fucked over all the time by me constantly saying shit that doesn't happen? I'm a God. I'm a Jesus person, and it's like
Christian's the word.
Oh, you should turn that right around and look. If I had contracted Jesus to do this job, it would have been done, and he'd be standing on it right now looking at me. Instead,
God, you're getting too close here. You're getting too close. There's lawyers involved at this point.
Tell me that.
Yeah. So I might need a new topic at this point.
Isn't it great when you have your own show and pending litigation? Because you can't shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah. So
well,
so that EU thing.
That's fuck. I mean,
that's gonna pass. I just went upstairs to grab a Coke, and Kitty was literally transferring money around as I walked through. She said the exchange rate is pretty good for what she's trying to do. I don't know if she's taking money out or put money in. Something about she's buying pounds because they're so low. That's what she's doing.
It appears that Leave is going to win. Now, if I'm looking at this little here, let me show the world what we're looking at. It looks to me like there's a lot of voting left to happen, but it's just statistically significant that Leave is winning. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like I said before, and I couldn't phrase it any better. I'm deeply interested and totally ignorant. That's where I am.
Yeah, we'll see how that turns out. We'll see what the ramifications are, both short term and long term. I think it'll be interesting. If nothing else, it's a nice little story.
Something else to look at in the news aside from Trump and fucking Hillary.
And what?
Death and terror.
Yeah,
a lot of that too.
God, I'm actively avoiding Trump and Hillary. Like, look, there will be a time for Trump and Hillary to talk again on our show, and that time is closer to the election. Right now
it's like that's what you do. You go through phases. All right, we had the primaries, all that hype and bullshit, and then we had the initial thing where they were the 2 candidates. And now it's just going to be, like, exhausting to have to listen to all the bullshit. I'll wait until, October.
Yeah, whenever the debates
summer.
fire up. I don't know when the debates come on, but that'll make it... That's when everything will start to matter again. Voters will be firm, and we'll see what's up.
When's the convention where apparently the Republicans can just say, nah, to Trump?
That's not going to thing. That's not going to happen. They can't really do that because Trump's part of the like convention rule making process since he won. It's over. He's the guy. Well, I mean, it's not technically over, but he's the guy. They can't pull back now. They've already made efforts to solidify around him, which made them lose face. If there was going to be a big switcheroo that was going to come in Cleveland, then they wouldn't be buddying up to Trump. They would be having these big meetings with him. He had the big like Christian group meeting this last week with Jerry Falwell Jr. and all those clowns. So he's going to be the guy.
What was I going to say? Yeah, neither candidate excites me, but I'm really turned off by the idea of someone who didn't get the votes being the candidate. Like that's not what I'm looking for at all. So
yeah, I don't know. I can't abide Hillary, so that's all that matters to me is my great hate for her and all that she stands for. So that kind of seals the deal for me. It wouldn't matter if it was Trump or Flavour Flav. I know who I'm voting for.
Right.
Well, wait. In that case, it'd be Trump. I think you say it doesn't matter if it's Hillary or Flavour Flav. If I'm reading you right.
What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter who runs against Hillary, whether it's Trump or Flavour Flav. I would vote for that person.
I might pick Flavour Flav over Hillary or Trump, just because if we're gonna go crazy, go full force with it.
And hey, at least we'd always know what time it was.
We would, yeah. Can you imagine how many times it would be? Now is the time to act. Pointing at his fucking clock. You know, we're running out of time.
Right now it's 2:15. By 3:15, that nigga's dead. That's how we play it now. like, that would be your president. That would be great. Although Flavor's not that angry. He's more of a chill guy. Remember Flavour of Love when he had Brigitte? Is that how you spell it? Nielsen.
I think it's
Brigitte Nielsen, who used to be so fucking hot back in the day, doing those like Red Sonja movies or whatever. Like just super hot, but time was not kind to her. Of course, it's not like time was very kind to Flavour Flav either. He's one of the most repugnant looking motherfuckers on the planet.
I walked right by Flavour Flav at the airport once, and he looks even worse than he does in that show about him. Like he looks more like withered. He's tiny. Like I didn't realize he was such a tiny. Like I passed him being like, oh, is that Flavour Flav's son? Is that his small body double from far away? Like what's the point? I don't know. He looked horrible, and he should have been thanking his lucky stars he ever got to get with Brigitte or whoever, because he is a gross individual.
I walked past. I'll go. I walked past some professional wrestler at the airport. I don't know my pro wrestlers that well. It might have been Triple H. One of the really, really big guys is in like weight, not popularity. And but he was gigantic. And at the time I was training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I had this like intermediate syndrome where I thought I could beat people I couldn't. And I was next to that mountain of a man, and I was just like, oh my. No way! No way! Like, he picked me up like bam, bam, and smacked me on the ground. Like, he was just so big. I was like, oh yeah, well I guess not. Now I know. I would lose.
That wouldn't be my thought at the airport if I saw that guy. It would be like, oh, if this guy sits next to me, I swear to God. And he's not even fat, so I can't be mouthy. Like, I'll have to be polite about it. Like, is this enough room, sir? Do you need my armrest on this side, too? Like, just reach on over, sir. Like, whatever you need.
If you want, you can just stow me at the luggage.
No, I didn't even want my pretzels. It's totally cool. You need the carbo load anyway. You need energy. You look tired. Have my soda. Yeah, the whole can. You know.
When I was doing the O&A show, we had an appearance at the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square, which at the time I think might have even been the WWE Cafe. They had turned it into it at some point. And one of our guests were Flavour Flav, and he was under the impression somehow, I don't know how he got this idea, that our party that we were having, that he was a guest in, was his album release party for his new album. So he completely took over our party. And we bring him up, and his posse of like 20 other people come out on stage, literally chased us off of our own show. But there was our audience in the audience watching Flavour Flav and all of his homeboys hijack our show for his album release party. It was hilarious. Yeah, and he looked like he was real ashy. He looked like he was like one of those you see at Hiroshima, those pictures, like somebody that had been hit with an atomic blast. He just didn't look
or
good.
Pompeii.
Yeah, Pompeii. That's better. He's just one of those Pompeii people.
All crispy. So what happened? He just went up there and like took it over. What did you guys do?
He went up there. He did the boy, we're here. We're going to rock this party out. And people just started coming onto the stage, we didn't know who they were, where they came from, and then they just started blasting some of his album, hip hop stuff, and that was it. Our party was over.
So they just
and our audience was sitting and standing there, just looking up, like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah, I think there are pictures of it somewhere. If you Google Flavour Flav, Opie, and Anthony, I'm sure it'll come up. But,
did you claim the stage after a while, or was it like, all right, well, I guess
that's pretty much it. That was the end of the Yeah, thank God we kept it toward the end of the night. But oh man, we didn't know what happened. We laughed our asses off that it did happen. Like, this guy just thought it was his party. It's like when Michael Jackson came out and thought he was getting the artist of the Millennium statue.
Oh.
Yeah.
On TV. It's like, oh, I think this guy, because who brought him out? I think it was was it Miley? Nah, it was before Miley. And she said, and I believe he is the artist of the Millennium, Michael Jackson. She just said that, and he came out and goes, "This is a great award, Millennium."
Dude, what's even fucking funnier than that is artists of the Millennium. You're going up against Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, all of the greats. And he goes up there and takes it like, oh, they said you would never beat Mozart, and I told them, fuck you. He's a hack, he's a fucking hack. Bach couldn't even hear him.
He took it.
That's one of the most uncomfortable clips for me to watch, is to watch him accept a fake award, and everybody has to sit there and watch and be like,
yeah, because what did they give him? They had to give him something too. What was it? Like, it wasn't even an award.
It was like a straight soccer participation
a mic
trophy.
stand.
We're gonna fix a figurine later. Yeah,
it had a picture of a golfer on it.
Participation award.
I love it.
That guy had an interesting life. I mean, not too many people have had their hair set on fire on national television before. That was pretty great too, that whole Pepsi thing.
Yeah.
That was huge. There was a story that just came out the other day that he had some, we knew he was pretty creepy, but he had some real creepy stuff that just came out. Like, he was a collector of, and this is weird because Pee Wee Herman fell into this category too, a collector of erotica, like young boy erotica. Art, though. It's art. See, it's not crazy, perverted stuff. Also, there were stories that he would have videos of small animals being killed and would show them to the children that would come to Neverland. Like, weird shit started coming out
when it comes to young boy stuff, the difference between erotica, art, and porn is the net worth of the owner.
Like, it's a razor's edge that you're walking with.
It's weird. I guess Pee Wee Herman was trading artwork with the guy that played the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, that guy got locked up. Yeah.
Yeah, he got locked up.
Oh, net worth issues.
And they were both friends, and they would trade erotica. Mm-hmm. And I guess he was trading with other people, and it wasn't as
like
much
Pokemon. You got to get them all, I guess. He's like, well, I don't have any little Russian boys. Do you?
Yeah. Collect them all.
And that ties into
nobody really likes. Like, but what is he doing? Like, how do you play it off? Like, when he has people over who just think like this is Pee Wee. First of all, don't call him Pee Wee. Second, he's really into young boys' lithe, supple bodies, and so he plasters it all over his home. Like, what is he doing when people come over? Is he just like, just look at the crevice on that belly button or the dimple on the butt cheek. Like, it just brings you back to your most human. Like, you can't play it off. So there's no way to explain how you could be interested in the art of little boys.
A lot of listeners might not know that because they're young. But Pee Wee Herman, when he came out with Pee Wee Herman's Great Adventure, and he was a huge star, like the man of the minute, right? Whatever that was. And then shortly after that, he got busted for masturbating in a public theater. The thing was, like, before the internet, sometimes like that's what these public theaters were kind of for. Like they had these XXX theaters where people would go in and jerk off, I guess. And like I never went to one. Like I don't know how big it is, how many seats there are. I imagined it being like a full-size movie theater, but I'm probably wrong. And
well, if you want to know, they were a little smaller than full-size movie theaters.
Right.
There was one in Bayshore here on Long Island that we used to go to, me and some of my buddies, or like once we were done with work at a place I used to work, and it was like, let's go to the Bayshore Theater and watch a porn. Dude, you couldn't just go out and get porn. It wasn't available, like just to get, like it is now. Let me get some porn. Oh, here it is. Like it work to actually get it. And we used to go, but we'd laugh our asses off at how bad the movies were. But it was kind of good to see some hot fucking naked chicks and stuff. There was one scene where this girl was just giving a great blowjob to some guy, and he finishes all over her, and the theater was pretty quiet, and I just yelled out, "Yes, but can she cook?" And the theater was wild. Like, just starts laughing their asses off. That was one of my Seinfeld moments where you had to yell the funny line out at the movie. Yeah, they were like regular movie theaters, though.
And people would jerk off in these theaters, right? That was it was. But apparently, when Pee Wee Herman did it, maybe because of his celebrity or whatever, he got targeted, and they busted him for some sort of like public exposure, whatever charge.
I see it kind of the same way that like when you go to Chipotle and you pay for water, but you get a Sprite. Like, everybody's doing it, and it's accepted. Just don't talk about it, you know?
I don't do
on
that.
that same level.
I think Pee Wee was also in one of those theaters that weren't just guys sitting, and even guys just jacking off, which was illegal, and they used to send cops in. That's how he was caught. A cop would walk around and kind of see what everyone was doing, but I think there was actual sex going on. Gay sex going on in that theater, and back then
might have been someone in Pee Wee's lap.
So anyway,
maybe that was it.
He disappeared for a little while, and then he came back, and he was on this MTV award show, and it was fantastic. Everyone's like, "What's he gonna like? How is he going to recover from the public embarrassment of him getting caught masturbating in a theater?" And he's like, "Hey, heard any good jokes lately?" And it was in the place roars because Pee Wee Herman jokes were like the thing, and it was fantic. He just totally owned it.
That line, man. Yeah. Yep. And then he did like a few movies like Blow, and he was really good in that. He did a couple of movies where he wasn't Pee Wee. And then I just watched that new Pee Wee thing that's on, is it on Netflix or Amazon or something?
Yeah, I watched it too.
Yeah, and you know what? I was thinking like, oh fuck, this is gonna suck. It was actually pretty funny. It felt like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It really had the feel of, you know, the whole first one with the bicycle and everything. But it
and
was
he
really
can still
good.
pull that off because he's not 20 anymore. It worked, I guess.
He has a very young look with him,
He
especially
still
when he's got all
looked
his
like Pee-wee.
Pee-wee. Yeah, he looks like a. You would not have, if you just saw the movie and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, you would not imagine this amount of time had passed between them. But
yeah,
God, I watched the big Pee-wee's Big Adventure pretty recently in the last few months, and God, unlike so many other movies I thought were fucking hilarious as a kid, that still holds up. Like him and Francis talking about the bicycle, and Francis is just such a fat smarmy cunt to him, and they're like both 38-year-old men bickering like children.
I know, that's the fucking thing. They were men, you know. They're men talking about.
My dad will get me anything I want, and he's just bragging about their fathers.
On this EU thing, Remain is winning now.
Oh,
yeah, it's going back and forth.
It flipped the other way, yeah.
I don't care, but now I picked a side, and I wanted Leave to win because they were winning, but now I can't abandon it and bandwagon on to stay. I have to stick with I'm not going to be a bandwagon fan. I'm not bandwagoning Leave. I don't know what it involves, but Leave.
I don't know what is better or what I want. I am fairly certain that whenever I choose a side, my fans will tell me what a terrible asshole I am for choosing it.
And you pick the other one.
What's that?
I'm Team Leave. Right? Is that what I am?
Yes,
team
you were
lead.
team lead.
Team
They
lead.
used to be winning, and they fell behind, and I think we're still in the first period on this thing. So
How many? What are the votes now? How much are we losing by?
you're losing by about 60,000 votes.
Oh my God, no big deal. We get they make one dumb mistake. We get a 2-minute power play. We're back in the spot.
Yes.
Thirds back in. Take advantage.
I'm relatively sure that's exactly how this works. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it is.
dude, I don't know.
Anthony, do you ever go to Islander games?
Nah, I used to go occasionally when they were in out on Long Island. They're at Brooklyn now, so it's kind of a pain in the ass to hump my ass into Brooklyn to go see the Islanders. And from what I hear, the Barclays Center, which they built for the Nets, it sucks for hockey. Like, if you're behind the net on one side, you can't even see the net. It's like there's some problem with a wall they built or something. I don't know.
There's seats where you can't sit, and then, like, if you're looking out on an arena, basketball, NHL, whatever, the Jumbotron is in the middle, just right in the middle of the building. In the Islanders arena, it's like almost over one of the goalies, so if you're sitting high up on the home side,
you don't see it.
Like,
it's ridiculous.
I don't understand how the Islanders don't have a better situation there, being in fucking New York. Like, how? How could they not?
The bastard children of the Rangers. They don't, the Rangers will get everything they want.
I went to
That's
a Hurricanes
so funny because
game.
the Islanders are so much more successful than the Rangers as a franchise, and they just can't get anything.
I went to a Hurricanes game, and we bought, it was like tickets for $9. Like, why not? Who could that? Dude, it's dangerous. Those $9 seats, it is so steep at the top of that, the arena, whatever the hell it's called, like some fucking bank center. You want to have those, what do the ice mountain climbers use? Those fucking specialized axes. Yeah. Like, it's almost like you're going up a ladder to your seat. It is so steep. And like, I've got my kids with me, and I feel like I'm holding them, because if they so much as slip, they're falling down 12 stairs. It's ridiculous. Shit. Yeah. And like, the thing that all I need to enjoy the game is to be able to read the players' names on their back, but I can't. I'm so far in the sky that I can.
You only have like a split second to read it, and they're all Russian, so you're like, number 28 in the Shishnik. Fuck! Wait till next time.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it. Like,
so I can make out that there's a hockey game down there, and even see, like, by their body language, which one might have the puck, but I can't tell who the players are, what line's on the ice. And yeah, the $9 seats are really overpriced for that game.
The Carolina Hurricanes.
I went to the Barclays Center once, only once, for a Neil Diamond concert. I saw Neil Diamond, and he's like 70 years old. Love on the rocks, ain't no surprise. Pour me a drink, and that guy. And I was able to get in with my gun. They actually let me check in like law enforcement does. I showed them my permit. And then they said, what hand do you shoot with? I said, my right. They give you a red wristband so that if any shenanigans break out, they'll know who was checked out when they're holding their guns. So I didn't think anything was going to happen at a Neil Diamond show.
Was it an impenetrable bracelet?
Unique little
where you
system.
Just couldn't get it off?
Yeah.
Foiled again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then I was just looking for other people with wristbands.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in North Carolina, there's no way you could go to an event that has tickets and stuff like that with a gun. Like, that's like the big thing. Like, if you. That's
what amazed me. Fucking New York, which is crazy, and New York City, which is crazy. But I guess it's mostly for law enforcement. But since it was a complete, legit license, they let me in.
Like, getting a concealed carry in New York, I might be out of date, but you kind of have to prove that your life's in danger, right?
It's nearly impossible to get.
How did you do it?
I have plenty of death threats against me.
Was it that? Did you prove that, like, you might have to defend yourself?
Oh, yeah, I had threat assessments done, and I save all the emails from people that want to kill me and the threats and everything else. I had some guy that was driving around my neighborhood and tweeting at the same time and putting his position of where he was in his tweets. He's like, yeah, I think I'm close. I'm going to drop in. The next day, I shit you not, the next day, I'm listening on the news, and some guy was in a standoff with police, and it was that guy.
Oh, God.
It turned out he had an airsoft rifle, but they arrested him, took him in, and he was off his meds. But he was looking for me.
Good thing he didn't find you, or you would have killed him.
Yes. Yeah.
I would have killed him, and maybe had a welt. I fucking with an airsoft welt, and he would not have had a head.
You know how, like, you in the moment that you get shot, apparently, based on war veterans, like, you're not feeling the bullet searing pain, like you're in shock. Like, what if you just felt a few, like, pop, 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 like stings? You're like, this is the end! And then you mow this guy down in your front yard, only to look down, fuck. Just a couple BBs caught the, culverts of my clothing.
You're like, I'm a fucking superhero.
Hashtag unbreakable.
I guess I'm a vigilante now. All right, let's go.
Doesn't New York like Kyle, you know way more than me, but some states are like shall issue, and some states are like may issue, or some other word.
Yeah,
those are the words.
No.
And the idea is basically, where I am, it's shall. So if I apply for it, he's got to give it to me. He doesn't have any voice in this. He's just the facilitator of the thing. It's not like he's the decider. But may, your sheriff can be like, yeah, I know Marky. He doesn't need that. No, I'm not signing. Or maybe just have a blanket thing where he doesn't sign any at all. Like no one gets one here.
Yeah. Here it takes one 6-hour class on one day. And
you had to go to a class, eh? Interesting.
Yeah.
I had my picture taken.
You can double it up here because if you get your concealed carry permit in Missouri, it also counts as a hunting permit, and so then you don't have to do that. So it's like you can spend an extra hour in class here in the same stuff, and never have to go back. So
mine was like 10 hours. It was like 5 hours of like hands-on, like shooting targets and listening to instructions, and then 5 hours of classroom, something like that.
Another thing about New York, no fucking class. I didn't have to take shit. I went, and my New York City one is an attachment on my state license. So it's easier to get than a pure New York City license. It does the same shit. I drive into the city, whatever. But the state license and even the city attachment, no course, no nothing. But you have to cough up your innards and let them examine everything. I mean, your fucking tax returns. I mean, I had to give them everything.
It was like $50. It was like $50, and they took my photograph, and that was the cost.
Oh, you had to drive in there? What a hardship. Georgia really needs to streamline this.
It's so close to my house. That's the funny thing. The place is literally so close to my house, I could have walked. I mean, I could. If I looked out a window, I can almost see the place where I had to go. It's so close. It was super easy. Yeah.
Anthony, what do you carry? Model.
HK 40.
I don't know how big that is. Is it like subcompact?
SK. Yeah, it's mid-size 40 caliber. It's nice. If I'm doing something where I don't have as much to wear, I have that affinity for that Walther PPK S, the 380. I like that little thing. It's pretty accurate and dependable. I like it down at the range. That's about it. The funny thing is, when you first start carrying, you just buy the biggest fucking 45.
Yeah, 1911.
Like, I got a full-size SIG 45. I'm like, no one go fuck with me, motherfucker. It's got this anvil on your hip. It's hard.
Pulling your pants down on one side.
You can't sit down in your car.
Always having to pull your pants up.
I need something a little more reasonable.
Yeah, I need. I sit here and think, like, is there a pen gun? Like something I could keep in a shirt pocket? Oh, just one shot, maybe.
I don't like the little minis carries. Some guys like those really small guns. I like something with a little substance to it, but not, obviously not giant. I like that 40. Good size.
I'm on the mini side. LCP is the gun that I carry, and some people will say, like, "Oh, I'm not accurate with it." Yeah, I'm not really either. I'm just hoping my opponent is close. That's the idea.
They usually are.
Pops. I was talking to my dad about that yesterday. He was looking for a gun to carry. I was like, on your person or in your truck, et cetera, asking questions. And yeah, you definitely don't want some gigantic thing you got to carry around. You want it to be concealed, right? That's the whole point. I carry that LCP sometimes, but I can't hit shit with that. Like I missed a juice box one time on my back porch with it, and I know how to shoot. So, like, if I'm going to carry something that I think is going to be effective, it's probably going to be my Car 40 or one of my other smaller pistols, one of the revolvers.
If you were aiming let's say, for example, you're at one gas station pump and I'm, whatever, a car length away from you, you hit my chest every time. You can hit a chest. Maybe not a juice box, but a chest from 18 feet.
Not with that pistol. Not in any
really?
kind of I would literally have to do, this is how, I would have to be like, squeeze, pop, and maybe. I'm telling you, that LCP is such shit. I can't hit anything.
I need to test it again because I don't think I'm a better shot than you, but I feel like I'd hit that shot every time. So
yeah, I'm terrible with that LCP. I mean, if I got a full size pistol, I could shoot your ear off, but with that LCP, I might not hit you. I'll hit the back.
I'm looking to get either as my next gun, a Ruger LCR in 357, like the small hammerless revolver for carry.
Yeah.
And those are cool. And then I think that's what they use. Walter has in Breaking Bad, maybe, or something similar to that.
Yes, it is.
And then I was looking at the Ruger GP100, which is the revolver right in the next size. And even as I was looking at it, I'm like, nope, this is the same mistake you made last time. You're going to end up with a big amount of metal that's useless. I've got a SIG P226 Mark 25 9mm handgun in there that is so heavy. Yeah. And it's like
it's a great range gun
to be able to shoot 17 of these, right? Like,
yeah.
If I need 17, I'm in a real tight spot, and I'm probably not getting out.
I've got a gun in the same class. I have a Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm, right? I bet if we were to put them down next to each other, they'd be the same size. I love it at the range. I could shoot like 300 rounds. The recoil never bothers my wrist or my hand. It's fun, and I feel like I'm pretty accurate with it too. But carrying it, no way. In a gym bag, maybe. The SIG P238, if I were to choose right now, is the one that I've had my eye on. It's a 380.
That's the compact, right?
Yeah, it's a tiny little 1911 essentially. It's a 380 and it's small. And I've only had big and small, right? Like I've got I forget the name of my like 7-cylinder revolver. It's
you got the Smith & Wesson 680 686.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. The Smith & Wesson 686, which is a full-size big heavy gun. It's a great gun. I love it, but I wouldn't carry it. I'd sooner carry a cinder block. And I've got the Smith & Wesson M&P 9, and then all the way on the other side, I have a 1911, and then I've got this little LCP, which is like a wallet almost to carry. And I'm like, well, maybe you could go a little bigger. And still be able to carry it. I don't know.
Have you ever shot an AR-15 without, terrible shoulder bruising and PTSD and stuff? Because I tried shooting one, and I started just like Anthony's detox story. I took 2 shots with the AR-15 assault rifle and just openly wept, broke down, lamenting that how could life be this way?
Yes.
Like, for people that don't know, there was a reporter. Was it Washington Post? Where was he from?
New York. Thank
New York
God.
Something or other.
Daily.
He fired an AR-15, and he said that his shoulder was sore. He had a variety of post-traumatic stress disorder from the loud bang and all that. And people who own
the brass flying by his face left him
disoriented.
Disoriented. The sound, the explosions that were coming out of it, the recoil bruised my shoulder. He was talking about firing an AR-15. And then I love the videos that came out of the little girl going, okay, Dad. And this little kid is shooting it and loving it.
Did you see the guy shoot it with his nose? Yeah,
the nose video, this like big, heavy, kind of southern sounding guy is out there. I don't know if you've seen it, but he basically is like, this guy said it gave him PTSD and all sorts of things, and I figured this would be a good rebuttal. And he just kind of holds the gun up with one hand.
Yeah.
One hand, easily. He's no bodybuilder. Then he just puts the butt right here and fires like 3 rounds. And you can just barely see it imprinting his nose. And he's like, I'm fine. No blood. Like, how much of a pussy do you have to be for that to scare you to that extent, or how much of a soulless shill do you have to be to pretend that?
That's the thing. He's not a pussy. Because nobody is that much a pussy.
He's a liar.
That's what he. That's what he was. Yeah. There's just an
Even
AR-15. You have to shoot it. If you guys haven't shot, everyone here has. But for people listening, if you haven't shot an AR-15, then oh my gosh, it is. The recoil is like a 2-finger tap. You know,
it's a 22 caliber rifle that weighs like 12 fucking pounds without optics. Yeah. Like this thing doesn't kick at all. I mean, you can put it on your nose.
If you show the Mini 14 that guy like Anders Breivik or whatever used, like show people a Mini 14 and ask if they think that's an assault rifle, and they'll all say no. That kind of looks almost like a pellet gun. Like it's just fear mongering based on what it looks like. You know, you throw a foregrip on there and like a Picatinny rail or whatever, and suddenly it's fucking horrible.
What paper was he from?
I believe it was either the New York Post or the New York Daily News. I think the Daily
News. The Times asked 2 days ago if they could license my AR-15 video. I said no.
Attaboy.
Nice.
Absolutely not. I know what they're gonna do with it, and I know which video they want to. I've got a video called "My New AR-15," and I've got an AR-15 with a $400 Geisley trigger on it, so I can shoot the thing almost fully automatic, you know, like this. And I'm shooting soda bottles, and I'm just going, and I waste 30 soda bottles in like 8 seconds or something like that. I know they want to see that.
Gold for them. That's gold for them.
It's my $3,000 like. 3-gun gun if I wanted to run it.
Plus,
it's a carbon fiber AR-15.
I know we've talked about this in PKA before, but I feel like people get the wrong idea about like this fully auto thing. You know, if hypothetically I had a group of people I wanted to take down, I'd do it semi-auto. Like if you were to go full auto, you don't control where your bullets go. You're wasting a ton of ammo. You're reloading every 3 seconds. It's silly. It's not how
you know what it is. If you only know guns from movies, you're gonna
don't run out of bullets.
That you could just wipe people out. That's the one thing that surprised me the most. The first time I ever fired a fully automatic weapon was how fast that ammo's gone.
Yeah.
Like it's just gone. That's it. Reload, and you are absolutely not getting that accuracy that you get with a semi. I could put more rounds in a target with a semi-automatic than I ever could with a full automatic, standing at distance.
I thought that I was going to be a unique snowflake who would shoot more accurately with an auto than everyone said I would. Turns out I'm just like everyone else. It tends to rise up, so then you kind of pull it down, and now you just
overcorrecting, and it's not working.
I'm more accurate with a garden hose, just
but they
spraying.
Think that when you listen to the left and these gun fucking people that want to yank your gun rights, they think you can just go out and buy a fully automatic weapon at like Walmart without any background check or anything, and you leave and just start mowing people down. It's like, that has to be changed. Well, let me tell you something. It doesn't work like that. And you can't even convince them that is complete bullshit.
Yeah, you can't, just like you can't convince them that it's bullshit when they're like, you can just go to, gunbroker.com and just put in your address and order a gun. It's like, no, you can't. Only someone who's never bought a gun online can do that. You have to. They're going to take it to a federally licensed store, and you're going to have to go and do your background check there. They're not just going to, the FedEx guy isn't going to be like, AR-15. Yeah, come on, I've got a $1,200 killing implement for you. I know you have a date later today. Like, no, of course not.
I've actually bought off gunbroker.com, and just like Taylor said, they ship it to your local dealer. It's called an FFL. And what does FFL stand for? Somebody help me. Federal
Firearm License.
All right,
they ship,
licensee.
So they ship them straight to me.
Well,
but
you
I've got
have
FFL.
One. Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
Kyle is a gun store for all intents and purposes. But most people,
and a bomb store.
And a bomb store now too. But most people, they ship it to your local gun store, and then he sells it to you with all the same regulatory background checks from an online purchase that you would have in person. So. Yeah, Kyle's a unique snowflake in terms of licensing.
Yeah, they're a bomb store. Yeah, I'm that too. Yeah, I can manufacture.
Kyle's Bomb Emporium.
Oh, that'll be the name of it. Thanks.
I lost my train of thought. Yeah, but the loophole that does exist is that you can buy a gun from like a regular person who's not a gun store, and that doesn't have the same background check. And they often call that the gun show loophole, but that's not really true. Most of the people at the gun show are gun stores, and they just do all the same background stuff.
Yeah. What it is it's the father-son loophole, because I can buy one for my dad, and he can sell one to me, and I can sell one to Woody, et cetera, et cetera. It's how it should be. And that whole terror watch list thing, at first you're like, yeah, I don't want a guy that we don't even allow to fly on a plane to have a gun. But it's like, well, what other rights are we going to snatch away from him just because he's on an arbitrary list controlled by like one pencil-pushing bureaucrat in D.C.? Like, who's the guy who puts your name on the list? Because if all it takes to take away one of your main core rights is to put your name on a list, then that doesn't sound too fucking free to me. That sound good. Maybe we'll take your freedom of speech next.
You try to tell them that and they're like, well, we have to be safe. And it's like, oh, you want to be safe? Then just do away with the fourth also. If you suspect someone and they're on a list, why can't you just walk in their house and start poking around without a warrant? Let's do away with that one too. And they never understand it. The Second Amendment stands apart from all the other ones. Yeah, we could shit on that one, but, you know, hey, they're the first ones to erroneously talk about freedom of speech. They have no idea even what that is. But the second, man, do they just want to get rid of that one? It's amazing to me.
Very frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know why they I don't know. I never see debates on the First Amendment, right? Like, I would love to see them say, you know what? The Founding Fathers did not see the internet coming, right? Yeah. People have, back in the day, there were hardly printing presses, and the freedom of speech didn't mean what it meant now.
Look at this man. He's got 500,000 Twitter followers.
Yeah.
He needs we got to license him or do something.
When they came up with freedom of speech, people were just shouting on street corners. Now, there's the internet, there's Tumblr, there's Facebook. People can reach millions, right? PewDiePie's freedom of speech has a reach that they never saw coming. So, we totally need to lock down freedom of speech.
The founders never intended the internet.
Can I jump in real quick with PewDiePie? Because this is funny. He's going to get evicted from that country if they vote to leave the EU.
Really?
He is?
He just bought a house, too. Yeah, he just bought a house. And yeah, I'm pretty sure. And so he's going to be kicked out.
No, he won't. Stay. He's worth way too much money to just get kicked out.
I have no idea.
He's not a citizen.
Anthony, you know who PewDiePie is? Is this... So PewDiePie is...
I heard about that whole thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's the biggest YouTuber. Everyone here knows who he is.
Yeah,
he's tremendously successful. Dude, I talked about it in my vlog today, which isn't even live yet. But every generation of YouTubers kind of leapfrogs the previous one. Like, you know, the success and metrics that like people pulled in 2012 by the same, you know, whatever, like 50th largest YouTuber in 2016 is gigantic. Right, you know, they have more subs, more views. Like they're more like respected, pulled into conferences or whatever in a way that didn't happen before. Whoever replaces PewDiePie, I'm sorry I said that wrong. Whoever replaces him is going to be a legit superstar. Hollywood actors are going to be envious of his fame. They're all going to say, how did that guy get big? Tom Cruise is going to be saying, how did PewDiePie V2 get bigger than me? He doesn't even have talent, right? But
he must not have any body thetans. It's incredible.
You know, of course, they're going to have a talent. Their talent is going to be charisma, right? That's kind of what the YouTube talent is. People say Kim Kardashian has no talent. I guess she's got charisma. People care about her, love to love her, love to hate her, whatever it is. She's got a thing. But yeah, the next version, the 2019 version of PewDiePie, assuming it's still not PewDiePie, is going to be so giant. YouTube will be bigger than TV or movies at this rate.
I have like nothing to offer. I was talking to this Vine sensation, you know, was doing stand-up. And he wasn't a stand-up that got big on Vine. He just got big doing his 6-second Vine videos and decided, oh, people love me. I'm going to do stand-up. And he just was fucking awful. Just terrible. I think it's 99% of it is young girls that just like that the guy's cute and just fucking amazing amounts of views on the thing.
You know what?
Pay for a 6-second show.
I don't knock him because like every stand-up comedian I've ever talked to mentions the same thing. how much bravery it takes to hit that stage. Like all of them. Just say bombing in stand-up is apparently worse than bombing in all other venues. And, you know, if he's up there...
Yeah, but you got no respect for the guy if he's not trying to earn his way and, like, climb the ladder. If he's just jumping in like, hey, I'm big over here, I bet I'll be great over here, you're kind of like, yeah, I'm going to enjoy watching you crash and burn.
I see it the other way. Like, the poor guy didn't get the same graceful entry into it that everyone else did, right? Everyone else starts in a club with 6 people watching. This Vine star starts off in a club with 500 people watching, and he just, you know, it didn't get the preparation he needed. Yeah, that's why he's bombing. Assuming he's bombing, I didn't see his routine, but it's tough.
You have to be a real narcissist to think that because you could make a bunch of 6-second clips that are entertaining enough to be watched for 6 seconds, that you can then hop out there in front of hundreds of people and kind of just wing it. Like,
it almost makes it seem like you don't have any respect for what stand-up is and what it takes to be good at it, that you can just, oh, you know what, I'm good at this, I'm going to be good at this too. And stand-ups fucking hate that too, but they're a bunch of insecure fuckers anyway.
Yeah, I like Brendan Schwab. I don't know if you know who he is, but Brendan Schwab was this UFC fighter, and now he's teamed up with Brian Callen. Do you know him? He's a stand-up comedian, and he's a friend of the Joe Rogan circle. Anyway, Brendan Schwab is doing stand-up comedy right now, and because he's kind of famous from his podcast and his UFC career, he's like apparently struggling at doing stand-up, and I feel for the guy. Like, I get it, you know, because you and your actual stand-up comedian friend are like a duo now. You're just thrust into a situation that most people don't start in the deep end like that.
Some people can pull it off after a while, I guess, if you stick with it. Mick Foley, Mankind from WWE, WWF, he decided he was going to do stand-up and just kind of tell stories of his life. And at first he said he even knew he wasn't very good at it, but he's been doing that now for years, and apparently, from what I've heard, he's pretty good now. And people go to see him not only because it's who he is, but because he's kind of funny. So I guess if you stick with it, but if you just think it's some magic bullet's going to happen and you're going to get up there and be great at it because you were good at this, you're probably going to still have to put the work in.
Yeah, it's not stand-up, but you know who was shockingly good right away? Mike Tyson. So he went up there and you know, he had a lot of props and stuff that, you know, like guidance and like he had an outline in terms of effects. But he went up there and told the story of his life, and I only saw the HBO version of it, but it was amazing.
Really good.
Yeah, really,
Are you going to go to a Mike Tyson show and not laugh and clap?
Come on.
Even if he was like up there drooling and falling asleep, I'd be like, "Oh my god, genius! Look at this guy. Remember this face because this guy was loving it." You know, later. Like,
I've heard him do radio interviews and stuff, and he's a genuinely kind of funny guy, and I don't think he raped that woman. I really don't, because he still defends it to this day, and he'll say, "Look, I've raped a lot of women, but I didn't rape that one."
I don't think he says that. I think you might be misquoting him.
I'm pretty sure he said that. He or at least he's intimated. He's like, yeah, there might have been a few rapes here and there, but not that one. I didn't rape her. She's fucking lying. Like he still stands by that. I don't believe her. It's not that I don't think Mike Tyson is a rapist. I don't think he raped that particular woman. Doesn't make sense. He was doing so well in his career and everything was going so good. Yeah. I like Tyson, and I really like that one-man show thing he did. That was entertaining.
That was great.
Will
Don't
Ferrell
worry,
did
ladies and gentlemen. Those chains are made of high tensile steel. He's on the stage. Photographers. A little King Kong joke for you.
Let me get a watch advertisement in here. We're going to talk a little bit about
what kind of watches?
Movement watches. The past few months, we've been working a lot with movement watches. We love them. You guys love them. So I asked myself, why do I only have one? You see, Movement offers different color bands, different faces, and different styles for each of their many watches. Movement watches start at just $95. So do some quick math. You could have a couple Movement watches, and it would still be a better deal than having just one of those department store watches. You could get a blue one, a white one, maybe Sandstone's your thing. Whatever your style, Movement has watches and bands to match for every outfit in your arsenal. So there's no hassles. Just order online with free shipping, free returns, and a 24-month warranty. So join their more than 1 million social media followers and get a Movement watch today. Go to mvmtwatches.com/PKA today, and they'll give you 15% off your entire purchase. That's mvmtwatches.com/PKA.
Nicely read. Movement watches, the kind you buy.
We've all got some. You should get some. There you go.
If you want to be.
So who's winning? Who is
winning? Leave is now winning.
What?
Yes. Yeah, it's true.
I didn't abandon my team, and look what happened. Surged back into relevance.
There's nearly 8 million votes in, and Leave is ahead by 50,000, which feels razor thin to me. It's been
only 20,000 as I just updated. It's really close.
20,000, is that?
Mine is 4,080,000 against 4,063,000. So that's 17,004.
He's right.
What if Leave is like the worst movement ever, and only horrible people want? Or I guess it couldn't. It's that close. Couldn't just be horrible people, but I'm just rooting for the worst thing.
Yeah.
Leave. Like, I don't know.
I don't even know what I want, but I know I really care.
I know that I like to pick sides, and so I have. You know,
I want them to
no
leave.
Knowledge, no, that's my team.
I want him to leave because it'd be a little bit of a mix-up, right? I'd like to see what comes of it. Let's get something new and interesting going on.
Yeah,
if nothing else, it's different.
Yeah, difference. That's all I want.
I assume they're voting on this for some reason. Like, if things were going great there, they wouldn't be voting, right?
Yeah.
I like knowing how much the people in Liechtenstein are panicking. You know, they called their countrywide meeting at the YMCA in Germany because they don't have one, I guess.
Yeah, they don't want to sit there and have to foot the bill for like Greece because they're one economy and England is just throwing all of their good shit in and other countries are going broke, but they're keeping it going. It's kind of socialist.
If that really is like the crux of it, that they're succeeding and they're basically propping up failed economies, then they should definitely leave because that's not fair to the people of the UK.
It's not.
But I don't know if that's what it is.
I don't know either. I do know. I keep hearing Germany's super strong economically, so presumably they'd be like another sort of giver for all these taker nations like Greece.
Yeah.
I want to see it go back to like the lira and the Deutschmark and the franc and all that wacky money that was going around back in the day.
Yeah, just get back to good old feudalism.
Right.
Have serfs, the lower class,
all that.
People who till the land and we keep them in the dark, don't allow them to read and know what God really wants. That's for us to know. Man, think of how much easier it would have been to be a ruler of any country before, like when you could control if people were allowed to read. Like you could literally be like, I think that they're better in the dark. Like they don't need to know all this shit.
They best not know things.
Yeah. They're going to know we're really fucking up.
Yeah.
So the last Game of Thrones episode is coming soon.
I'm super excited.
Anthony, you're all caught up on that show, correct?
Oh God, I'm not. I am like, I know.
The most recent one, no spoilers, is very good. We all enjoyed
where
it.
Did you leave off? Where are you on the journey?
I just have to catch up with last week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man, you are in for a treat.
What are you doing here? Go!
So
all right, that was Anthony Cumia. Thanks for coming on. Go watch.
I'm right there.
It's like this won't spoil anything, but it's compared to not just other TV shows, not just other movies, including shit like Band of Brothers. Like it's the best battle scene of anything cinematic.
That's what I've heard. Yes,
far and away.
What I've heard.
It's a whole new kind of way to do battle scenes that they did. Like this is Scorsese level, like
cinematography, amazingly very well shot, very well choreographed.
I remember thinking when I saw initially Lord of the Rings, like that kind of epic battle was kind of a new way to do battle scenes back then, to have that scope.
To me,
the amount of people.
It's not that they found a new way to do it. It's that they've taken all the best way we've ever seen and put it together into one. Like there's an aspect there that feels like Braveheart. There's an aspect that feels like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
There's
300.
300. Fuck. Dude, like the best from all of cinematic history gets sort of stuck in this battle, and it's very good. It's very good.
Oh, I'll be watching it like the second we're done here. I am absolutely watching it.
Yeah, man. I got a couple more seasons, I think, to go with Game of Thrones. So we'll see how this whole story gets fleshed out. But man, I've really enjoyed
one more
this
season, right? Am I crazy? One more.
Really?
Are you sure it's one?
It better not be one. I really hope it's two, because they can't wrap this shit up in one season.
Shucks, I have been watching it all this time with the knowledge that
they can't handle all those storylines. They're gonna have to just make an aggregate white guy with a beard.
See, we're only on
represents a lot of characters and just do something with him.
This is the 6th season, correct? This is the 6th we're in.
Yeah.
So, they're gonna do 7 books. So why would they only do 6 seasons? I mean, I guess next year would be the 7th, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
I love how in the old days they would milk a fucking successful show forever until no one was watching anymore. They would just run it into the ground and then go, "Yeah, that's canceled." Now it's like, what? One season,
gone,
motherfuckers. I believe me, it's so much better this way. God,
it ends at season 8. So not 7 like I thought.
Oh,
it ends at 8.
That's what I thought. I thought there were 2 to go, and then there was that kind of thing where like, and maybe one on top.
I also knew there were 2 to go, but I thought this season counted. So like that's where my mistake was. And season
half season.
And here's the thing, and this is rumor, I guess, but there'll be 7 episodes for season 7 and 6 for season 8. So I hope they're all 2 hours long.
I'm not going to be nearly as excited for these books, for the last 2 books to release, if we've already seen the whole series. Like if he comes out with that 6th book in 2018.
Oh yeah,
because at that point, like what's happening now in the show is becoming canon for the entire like lore and everything. Because not even the book readers, none of us know what the fuck's going on. Like at this point, it's just happening. But yeah, he really. Sit down, and Stephen King has written 6 books in the last month, and this guy can't finish the same story that he's been doing forever. It's because I was like looking at, I didn't look it up, I saw it online, that Stephen King treats writing the way people do like a 9-to-5 job. So he'll wake up and be like, all right, I'm going to do 1,000 words today. I don't care if I'm not fucking feeling it. I'm going to hash through it. Maybe I'm on a roll. It takes me 45 minutes. Maybe I'm not on a roll. It takes me 10 hours, but I have to get it done. That George R. R. Martin,
he doesn't believe in inspiration. It was specifically about inspiration, I think. Like Stephen King doesn't believe in inspiration. He thinks that's a bunch of bullshit for lazy people. he's like inspired. Like I just went and wrote. I went and told a story. I didn't need inspiration.
Right. He believes in discipline.
Just like that actor where they were like, "Oh, you were so intense. What were you thinking in that moment when your children had died before your eyes and the car was burning?" "Oh, I was counting to 8 in my head." It's just like
8 seconds of brief and done. Like
the Joey Tribbiani. I just pretend that I smelled a fart.
Yeah.
Where could that have come from?
Yeah, the math problem is like.
But yeah, Game of Thrones is super strong right now. They're just doing a good job with the show.
I just finished this newest season of Peaky Blinders, which I thought was excellent. I really liked that show. And the 3rd season was real good. They kill off a main character in the 3rd season, and it's shocking. It's like, oh god, everything's different now. So I've really been enjoying the violence and the gore of that show. It just seems like human life doesn't have a whole lot of value in 1915 Birmingham or wherever they are.
Orange is the New Black killed a character, and like of all the characters in it, she'd be one of my least favorite to kill. And it's just like they did that, but she was so man, okay, you got me to care. Congratulations.
What's an example of someone dying in a show that wasn't like a bad guy that you were happiest about?
Andrea,
yeah, from Walking Dead. That blonde woman.
Close your mouth, you dumb bitch.
Oh man, I wish she died twice.
She would always have her mouth agape. That's her acting style. So she's just like. like constantly agape. Always, that's her thing. That's her look for everything. That's confusion. That's fear. That's interest. Mouth agape. That's her thing. And we were so sick and tired of her, and we've been hating on her for like 3 weeks. And they pulled her off, and we came back. And we were all like, "Yeah!"
Oh, thank God! I even wanted her to come back as a zombie. Just never hire her again.
Just
go.
Yeah, she shot herself in the head. That's how it went down. What was the other show that I've been watching that was shit? I lost my train of thought. What was it? That's something good here.
Peaky Blinders. I don't know. Another good show.
Yeah. God damn it.
Was someone killed off in it? Is that
yes. I've been watching Veep. Have you guys been watching Veep?
I'm all caught up on Veep. That show is so much funnier than you would think it would be by just the cover.
I started
also
watching.
Just really like Julia Louis-Dreyfus a ton. I think she's hysterical.
Dude, for people that don't know Veep, right? Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the vice president, and I don't want to if you've never seen it at all, I don't want to do the plot, the twists and turns. But what's funny to me is it's a bunch of people in politics in the West Wing, and they're the most foul-mouthed, like twisted, not caring. Like, you ever hear how reporters incompetent, just like, and oh my God, like I'm trying to remember one of her lines, like, you know, oh my God, fuck me in the ass, and you know, like fuck me in the ass and stick a dick in my eye, and I've tried both and they're overrated. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, you're the vice president. You can't say that. And I don't know, the stuff they come up with. There's an elementary side of me that just thinks it's hilarious. I'm now into Veep. I think it's better than Silicon Valley.
At this point in the shows, because I'm up to date on both, because I don't just watch Game of Thrones, I watch the whole HBO suite on Sunday night, up until it gets to that guy yesterday, today, with John Oliver or whatever. Then I very quickly, nope, no thank you, you smarmy British dude commenting on things you don't really understand. That's what we need. More political commentators like Piers Morgan and that guy commenting on us.
Did you see John Oliver's take on the Britain leaving the EU?
Yeah.
What side is he on? I take the opposite, even if I have to abandon my team.
He stayed right in the middle, of course. And the whole song was like a chorus singing "Fuck you, EU, but we need you."
So
yeah,
then
I saw that one. It was funny. He had some funny moments in there, but like the message, wow, he really. I don't know why, but I think the people that want England to leave are like the Trump people, and people that want England to stay are like the liberals. I'm seeing that. That's how people that kind of have any interest in it are going with this whole thing.
Huh.
Yeah. So who's winning now?
The Leaves.
I don't know who's winning now.
The Leaves are up by 50,000. Yeah.
Wow, that is much.
Not much.
150,000. 150,000. I made a math error.
All right.
Yes.
Hey, what show do you think was like the first one that decided they were gonna kill off a popular character? Like, that was something that was never done. I know.
Didn't it happen on Dallas?
Like years ago.
Who shot JR?
With Henry Blake. Like, he was the fucking beloved colonel of the MASH unit, and he was leaving, so they killed off his character. But he was leaving anyway. Like, where these out of the fucking blue, a main character gets killed. That isn't something that was happening for
two things. Characters get killed, like you said, and another thing I like is shows end while they're hot. Like when Breaking Bad ended, they could have gone 3 more seasons. You know, like the interest in Breaking Bad peaked at its finale.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas like the interest in Friends seemed to. I mean, I guess maybe the finale, but look, that show was fading out. They were just done.
They make a set amount of seasons now, and they're like, that's it. This is our story. This is our arc. That's what we're gonna do.
Oh, and, did you see the actor that plays Chekhov in the Star Trek movies died?
Yeah,
dude. Did you see
about his own car?
Did you hear about his car?
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a recall on that Jeep Cherokee, Grand Cherokee. I'm sure I have that close. That allows people to think they were in park when they really weren't. And something like 300,000 accidents and some 100,000 number of injuries has happened because
the shifter the shifter doesn't lock in. You don't put it in park, and when you put it in park, it doesn't just lock into that park position and stay there. You kind of select park, and then it returns to a neutral, floaty position. So it's like a selector where you're like picking gears. So visually, you can't look at it and determine yes, it's in park unless you're looking for that little light or something. So I guess he thinks he put it in park, but it's in neutral, reverse. Turns the car off, gets out, walks down his driveway, turns around, is like, "Oh no!" as the car crushes him against a brick wall. And then they discover him that night. His friends do because he's late for some engagement, some
rehearsal.
Acting thing. Or rehearsal.
God, what a tragic way to die.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And I imagine it's a slow death. Like I don't think it was like crushed done. I think
you felt the linkage, like you were literally moving metal parts to put your car in park.
Yeah.
Like there was a rod and a ball joint and it went clank and you knew it was in fucking park.
You feel it.
Now, these Jeeps now, like I've driven the new ones and some of like a lot of Dodge cars I think do this now where
Chrysler 300 has it.
You don't like it's a dial and you dial it to park. And so you put your foot on the brake, dial it to park or dial it to reverse, which is so like that's not intuitive. Like everybody like when you drive that your instinct is like go like
right.
Oh,
so
oops.
The other thing though is like so my wife has a shifter that's like on the floor. Mine's a stick shift, so of course it's on the floor. But she's got like that big sort of rod, and I see the dial on the dash, and it's like, man, there'd be a lot of console in the middle. Either a really nice armrest or like a big storage thing.
Yeah.
You could put a laptop in there. Like, why is so much space devoted to the shifter? Like, if you could get your mind onto something new, the shifter taking as much room as like the cigarette lighter power port thing is nice. Like, it seems like it'd be cool to have a little piece of lipstick on the dash to handle shifting.
As long as it's not fucking driving you into a mailbox.
I mean, aside from the vehicular homicide, it seems good.
Yeah.
You know?
The shifter on I of course have a Jaguar, and the shifter, but it's the same thing. It's a shift, but you're not really moving anything. It's a switch. It's a switch that looks like a shifter, and I pull a little triggered thing on the shifting, and then as I pull down once, twice, three, it'll go through reverse, neutral, park, and shit like that, reverse neutral drive. So you're not really shifting anything. And that, it's all electronic. So God knows what the fucking screw up there. And
I don't mean to brag. I have a 13-year-old Tacoma, and it passed inspection today. So kind of a big deal.
Ryan, shut my mouth.
My 7-year-old Chrysler 300 never passes inspection. When I got it, I was like 5.7 liter V8 Hemi. That's sensible for a large sedan. And then immediately it was like, God, every time I have to get the emissions tested on that thing. I live in Missouri, so it's not like, you know, we're the pinnacle of like this just won't do. Like they're not super strict, but that thing has never fucking passed. I've said it before where I took it in once on a super rainy day, had them test it, and they were like, you got to take this thing out, drive around for 20, 30 minutes at about 50 or 60 miles an hour, and then bring it back. But don't go under 60 for too long before you bring it back. And so it's in the middle of the rain. It's not off a highway. It's off like, or it's off a highway, not a freeway. So it's like speed limit's 45, and I'm just kind of like really trying to speed the whole way in the rain, clearly just looping around in the same area like a lunatic, and then it didn't failed again. I will never buy another Chrysler car, another Chrysler product. Like,
what did you do when it failed? Did you have to...
I just took it back home and drove on expired plates for like a week and then brought it back just praying, and it did. It passed. So that was basically it.
Has that been still happening? Was that this year, or do we have any further updates?
That was... the last time I had to do it was this past year happened, or didn't happen. 3 years ago it happened, and 4 years ago it happened.
So wait, this past year it passed?
This past year it passed. Every subsequent time, no. It was an ordeal. This thing, it's really fast when you need it to be, and if you have like, I want to spend $6 in gas to get 200 yards that way, like then it's fun. But it's even then, it's not fast enough to like a really nice car that I can pull up to like a really nice guy and be like, oh yeah, how about you blow me out in this race? That'll be fun. Everybody watch! Watch the guy with the actually nice car. It is nice, and I can't rip on the car 100%. It's like sitting in a living room. It's a lot of room in there, but that's it. That's the only benefit.
You know, isn't that something that like an older guy would appreciate though? I feel like
I'm not into sports
shouldn't
cars.
you be into
Not a
some
lot of
like
white guys drive those.
I don't ever want yeah, that's true, but
I feel like you
it's
should
easier to
Because they
drive
think
around
it
in
looks
certain areas.
because they think it looks like that high-end. What's it supposed to look like?
It's
The Chrysler 300 is sort of shaped.
if you get that, some people, if you go down in some places, they have like a Bentley grill on it,
Oh God.
and they'll put like a B on the front, where it's like,
because
who
it
are
looks
you
a little
fooling?
like.
There's a Chrysler logo on it. Like, I don't know. It's silly.
You'd be embarrassed many more times than somebody that would look at it and go, "Wow, that's a Bentley." Like, wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Actually,
Like,
no. It's a couple
100
hundred
people would be like, "What a douche," as opposed
Yeah.
to one person
One-
going, "Oh, look, nice."
And the dude who had it before me tinted those windows like he had a fear of skin cancer. Because anytime it's late at night and I need to back out of anywhere, like, it is a serious struggle.
How
Like,
long did it take you to get the smell of Black and Milds out of it?
That's I've
What is
I've gone
that?
nose blind. You know?
what is Black and Miles? A cigarette?
A cigar that mostly black people smoke because I think that a black man owned his car because mostly black men own those cars.
I actually don't mind those little Black and Milds. Like, if
I
I'm gonna have a cigar, because like the huge cigars are too much of a commitment for me because I don't have a cultured enough palate of cigars to where I'm having one and I'm like, oh man, I can taste the Honduran leaves here and the sweat of the 8-year-old who picked it. Like, no, I
haven't
don't
had
know
a
about
cigar
cigars.
in so long. Like, the last cigar I had, I was like 24 years old. My friend had a bachelor party, and it was like, yeah, we're all going to smoke cigars outside. And I thought, I'm an adult. I can make this decision. Like, I'm not going to get in trouble with my mom at this point. I live on my own. And I try to smoke. It's like I don't know, some sort of cherry cigar. Is there a cigar called Cherry Garcia or just the ice cream?
That's an ice cream.
What is the
Maybe
cherry?
you weren't as risky as you remember.
Is it a
Little
cherry
revisionist history
swisher?
game.
I really don't know.
You're eating ice cream.
The humidor here.
But there was some sort of cherry cigar. It was a thinner thing, and I tried to like it. And I don't even know how to smoke a cigar exactly. Do you not inhale? You just sort of.
You do not. You just kind of like.
I don't even. That's not even smoking, is it?
Yeah, it is. You're still absorbing the nicotine and you're
Through
tasting
your-
the tobacco.
through your cheek skin, like the mouth flesh.
Yeah, sublingually, yeah. And then
not
your just
like-
lips touching the cigar it's wrapped in tobacco. It's a big chunk of tobacco.
It's totally not the same nicotine like administration level as like a cigarette. Like, a cigarette is made to be like, oh, nicotine, there we go, headshot, I got it. Like, cigars are not. So I've never smoked a cigar and been like, oh man, I'm really buzzing on nicotine.
I didn't even know nicotine made you buzz, but
cigars.
So I thought I wasn't even smoking it. I would just sort of like to make try to keep the end lit, which I was probably unsuccessful at, and I hated it. What little cigar effect I got was all negative, and it's kind of why I don't drink beer anymore. It's like, you know what? I've decided I don't like this, and you can't make me do it. So
You can't make me do it.
yeah,
I'm not gonna drink beer, and you can't make me.
no.
I really liked the cigars for a while. I didn't really know what I was getting, so I'd always have someone help me. But I got my humidor right next to me here. I would whenever we go into Vegas, I'd get a bunch of cigars, or when we go down to Florida, if I could find a really nice cigar shop, I'd get a bunch. I don't smoke them anymore, but for a long time I smoked them. I liked them a lot. I did like the flavor ones.
The only grown-up thing I'm doing lately is I sometimes cut my lemonade with water because I like it to be less sugary.
And learning to fly is pretty adult.
Yeah, that's a pretty big boy thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, all right.
Well,
me, a big boy. Who would have ever guessed?
And then next year he's going to learn to walk again.
Yeah, no.
He's gonna be asking for rehab recommendations.
Yeah.
So be in close
give,
contact.
It's not that kind of rehab.
No, that would be great. Woody in a substance abuse rehab being like, why is nobody helping me? My shoulder really hurts. You're just outsourcing your addiction. You're trying to get over it, and so your body's using other things to try and replace that pain. You have to fight through this.
It's paper mache, Woody. What are you doing? Get over there. You gotta heal yourself.
The first day you OD'd on Xanax. That's how serious this is.
200,000.
I just took what you gave me.
How many people do heroin like heroin made this huge fucking comeback, more than it ever was. And it's like there used to be a stigma to heroin. You could drink, you could smoke weed, coke, whatever the fuck. But if your friend was like, "Oh yeah, you want to do heroin?" You'd be like, "Get the fuck." That was the line. That was the line. Now, no fucking line. They go, "Oh yeah, I was doing some opioids and shit. I was doing some fucking clonopins or whatever the fuck it is." And they go, "Yeah, I couldn't get a script anymore, or it was too expensive, so I just started doing heroin." Oh, okay, really? That's just, you know. Oh, I couldn't find a Chardonnay, so I decided on.
What do you? Well, to be fair, I don't use it every day. I'm more of a heroin weekend warrior.
Yeah,
so I definitely and then just destitute for 2 days and then go back.
I definitely draw the line at heroin big time. Like that doesn't make any sense to even get into that pool. But like you see in the old westerns and stuff, and when they're smoking the opium out of those big long pipes.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious about that.
That
I'd like
looks
to smoke.
all right.
Yeah. Like I'd like to smoke some of that
What do
opium.
you know about it though? You're like, I don't know. That pipe looks large. That's not like anything you'd see before. Like it must be okay.
East pipe, just smoke them.
I would try that if I were in one of those like England heroin bars or opium dens, whatever they were called. Like if it was that era, and I was there, and I know that these nice Chinese immigrants are going to take care of me once I'm passed out, then I'd probably try it. But
what is the one where you go to a shaman and like you take it and you most likely vomit? Yeah.
Ayahuasca.
What?
That's the one that like CEOs of tech corporations go there and bother people from Indian reservations to like show them wisdom on what apps to put in their next device or whatever it would be.
So that's a hallucinogen. You're going on a hallucinogenic ride with that. That you're hallucinating things and kind of it's more of a brain expanding, mind altering kind of drug where afterwards you're supposed to come away with an experience with that one.
Is it really mind altering and like experience because like I've never done.
Robin Quitter said it was. I don't know. I'm not drinking shit.
I just feel like
I don't want to vomit.
Maybe it is valid. Maybe it is. I've never experienced it, so I won't say it.
I saw it on what's the hell? There's a TV show on Netflix, like Charlene Does or whatever her name is. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, so I forget the woman's name, Camille, Charlene, something like that. And it's she does, right? So then it's like she does dating, she does drugs, she does this, she does that. And you see her experience all these things. So the drug one, of course they're smoking pot, like it's an everyday thing. And then they do alcohol and they talk about some other ones. But they go and they do this, what is it called? Indigen? What is it?
Ayahuasca.
And they go do ayahuasca. Yeah, I know. And it looks terrible. They're on their side, laying on like a porch, like planks of wood, and they're vomiting into there's a vomit bucket because vomit is totally predictable on this thing, and they're like, one of them was just totally sick and didn't have any like experience out of it, so she did it again, and then the second time I guess she went on some hallucinogenic trip, and I'm just like, my God, like the surefire thing is the worst flu you've ever had. Don't sign me up.
Like there are other hallucinogens out there. Why don't I guess they could say, oh well, ayahuasca really opens you up in a way that mushrooms or LSD doesn't. But to my knowledge, you're not going to start vomiting violently if you take some LSD.
Yeah,
right?
You definitely want to start off with mushrooms. I think if that's what you're looking for, then you're not going to have like the worst day of your life. But that high ayahuasca, I'm not sure about the pronunciation. It's a bit weird because it's not an English word or it's not. It doesn't derive from anything we're familiar with, I don't think. But ayahuasca sounds awful. She described it as like a brown, thick liquid that he had in like an old motor oil jug or something. Like it wasn't even in a proper container. And she like drinks it down, and she's like, "Now what?" He's like, "Well, we wait. And if you get sick, it worked. And if you don't get sick, you drink more." and then you will get sick, and
then you will get sick, and you will hallucinate, probably too hard. Like, God, sounds awful.
That doesn't sound fun. It sounds like tequila. That part about drinking more and getting sick, and then if you're not sick, you drink more. That's anything. Yeah. That's fucking Jack Daniels, tequila.
Leaving is running away with it at this point, and
oh man,
I don't know.
I backed the right horse on this one.
I don't know if I'm really happy or really sad, but I'm really interested.
That's my team riding home to victory or defeat.
Taylor,
it's too late to look at facts and switch my opinion, Woody. I've made my decision and we're winning. If we were losing, I might reevaluate.
Taylor, as a long-term leave guy, is it too late for me to hop on this bandwagon? Am I welcome on this? Are you gonna?
How much are we winning by?
6.8 million to 6.4 million.
400,000. You're definitely a bandwagon fan if you hop on now. You're just riding the tide of success. What you should do, hop on the other bandwagon.
All right, I'll hop on
and
Remain
you
then.
Can say that you were there the whole time when they went.
Right.
Yeah, I stuck. All right, that's it. I'm on Team Remain now. I'm certainly no bandwagon jumper because I got on them when they were nothing, and we'll see how this plays out.
Team Remain thing to do is bandwagon, and God, so indicative of that whole movement.
How can you call me a bandwagon fan, given that I jumped on when I'm losing? It's like being a Detroit Lion fan. Like, when did you sign up? 1992, back when they had that 1 year, the NFC Championship.
They didn't even. The Detroit Lions don't have a championship, do they?
No, but they made the NFC Championship game 1 year. It was 92 or 93. Barry Sanders had quite the season.
I can't wait to see the now LA Rams suck dick just like they did here for the last 14 years. Because that dunce, whoever's running that organization now, did you see they traded like so much shit for the first overall pick? That's probably going to be a mediocre quarterback who fails. I like seeing California sports teams lose because they have too many, and it's not
way
fair.
too many. Way too many.
Well, then you must enjoy the NBA finals.
I like California disasters too. It's been a while since they've had an earthquake.
I feel like if they get an earthquake, we're all going to pay. It just doesn't seem fair.
I mean, we might have to chip in a little more through our taxes in some way we don't even feel or notice, but they'll get crushed under freeways.
Those Whole Foods won't repair themselves, Woody.
I was saying that the other day that there hasn't been like a really big, nasty earthquake since that Bay Area
1989.
Yeah. It's like
Al Gore says we're due for a lot of shit 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So be wary.
Yeah, I keep waiting on everything to melt. Let me tell you about USA's show here. I think you guys were talking about this a lot, but I haven't seen it. It's Mr. Robot. So today's episode is being sponsored in part by the hit USA Network show, Mr. Robot. The riveting computer hacking drama is about to return for its second season. The Peabody Award-winning show follows a young cybersecurity engineer who becomes involved in the underground hacker group F Society, who plans to take down the world's largest corporation. When their hack is successful and the consequences are far greater than they had ever than they had ever imagined. Rolling Stone magazine hails it the #1 show of 2015, and the Huffington Post calls it brilliant. Mr. Robot stars Golden Globe and SAG Award nominee Rami Malek and Golden Globe Award winner Christian Slater. If you run out of time, guest stars this season include Craig Robinson. He's the guy from The Office. I like him a lot. I like seeing him stuff. So make sure to tune in Wednesday, July 13th at 10/9 Central, only on the USA Network. Only on the USA Network. And let's see here. Yeah, that's it.
Check them out. Check out that show. I've made a practice of only watching Peabody Award-winning shows for years now. Yeah. Granted, my consumption has drastically dropped off, but the 3 shows I've watched have been excellent, including this one. So there you go.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm really familiar with you.
Just trying to piggyback off that, but Taylor left me in the middle of nowhere with nowhere to go. So
Peabody shows. They must be doing something right.
I've heard a lot of good things about that show. I haven't seen it myself.
I watched it.
Maybe Chiz is the one. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're the one who always talks well of it.
Chiz watches it too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Chiz likes it too. Yeah. So.
I just popped up the England thing over here. Leave it, and it says that there only 44.8% of the votes are all counted, so it's not even halfway through all the votes being counted.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
That is.
Yeah, and it's late.
The more I'm thinking about this, the more I kind of want to be part of an underdog tale. So maybe I'll jump ship.
It's too late now, baby. It is too late. You see, you're the bandwagon fan because you've never really experienced what it's like to be behind by 300,000 votes like I have. You are just there like you've never known anything but winning. It's
the St.
sickening.
Louis Blues, perennial success, taking the NHL by storm every year.
You are the Dr. Chiz of European politics, right? You just sort of wait to see who's ahead. You jumped on that team, and then you've been winning ever since.
That's true. I'm totally Dr. Chizing it. I'm not going to do that.
So you're going to jump on the remains? Are you going to
No, I never left. I never left that train. I was on the boxcar leaning out, but I didn't jump. Anyway, what do we got?
I don't even know. We got a thing.
What is this a who linked "Fuck You European Union"?
Oh yeah, that's the John Oliver song that he that they did. That's how he responded to the European Union thing.
It's only 2 minutes. Do you want to watch it?
Yeah, I'll watch it. Sure.
I'd like to see what he did.
Let's queue up at 0.
I'm there.
All right. Everyone ready?
I'm trying to. It's trying to open.
It may play back through his speakers.
I got it.
All right. Taylor?
I'm squared away.
All right. Ready, set, play.
Brexit on Thursday. I have a better solution. I'd like to retroactively enter that EU anthem contest with a song straight out of every British heart that both relentlessly insults Europe and quietly acknowledges how lost we'd be without it. Please enjoy.
Fuck you, European Union, tally-ho, you fucking pricks. We are the United Kingdom, you can eat our spotted dicks. That being said, we're not going to leave you. Turns out we need you nonetheless. Fuck you, European Union. Poland is depressing, and there's vampires in Romania. Spain is far too hot, and where the fuck is Lithuania? To be fair, Slovenia is lovely. We're only kidding, it sucks too. But we must admit, without these countries, we'd be really screwed. Fuck the European Union, even though we must admit we would all be batshit crazy if we vote for leaving it. We would all be batshit crazy if we vote for leaving.
It's pretty good. Well, I guess they're crazy.
That's pretty funny.
That really hasn't helped me take a side.
All he did was take a side in the least risky way possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
I'm pretending to be edgy. Like, all right.
But I'm down the middle on this.
I feel like him a little bit more now because that guy John Oliver, we both have a real avian vibe to us. He's got some kind of sparrow, and I got an owl head. I can see way further in this direction than most people. No one's sneaking up on me.
Do you think that's an evolutionary thing? Do you think that your people that's the reason that you're here through evolution, that they were able to see those predators coming more peripherally?
My people have always had one eye on the prize.
I like that.
That's
Taylor, somehow I also independently came up with the owl thing, but I don't know where from. You don't actually look like an owl. Owls look very different than people.
It's the eyebrows that kind of peak up, and it's hard to tell with the glasses and beard. That's what it is.
Yeah, see, this is all a ruse to become less bird-like.
Yeah.
If I shave off entirely and remove this,
I mean, he's hiding his wings right now. He takes that shirt off. He takes full flight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just hair instead of feathers.
Yeah, you look kind of like the wise owl from the potato chip thing with those like peaked eyebrows, because that's what it is.
It's only one. This I got an excellently contoured eyebrow over here, naturally, obviously, and this one over here swoops up, and it just grows that way. So it always looks like I'm kind of being a dick, even when I'm not.
Yeah.
I heard a joke.
I'm a big fan.
I heard a joke I'm uniquely qualified to tell. So an old lady dies, and she goes up to heaven. And while she's in heaven, she's there at the pearly gates, and they're saying, "You've lived a great life. We're gonna let you in." And meanwhile, people are screaming in agony. Ah! And she says, "What is that? Why are there people screaming in agony?" And we say, we're drilling holes in her back so we can put the wings there." And she's like, and then she hears someone else screaming, "Ah!" And then she's like, "Why is that person screaming?" Like, we're drilling a hole in the head so we can put the halo there. And she says, forget it. I'm out. I'm going to hell. And they say, "You don't want to go to hell. You'll be raped and sodomized." And she says, "Well, I've already got the holes for that."
Yeah. Oh, all right. That's pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah, I could do stand-up.
Well, you're halfway there.
Even telling that joke was longer than a Vine.
Hey, did you see the new YouTube terms of service?
Yes, the bullying thing.
Yeah.
I read through it very very quick way. Didn't read it all in depth, but
so
I saw the one of not allowing content specifically for the purpose of humiliating others and doing that, and I think that's actually a good policy.
It's so I know you two guys are you're on YouTube and you make videos, but you don't somehow you exist next to YouTube instead of really being following all the players. Probably one of the hottest types of content right now is picking on people, right? Whether it's the drama channels or the other channel. I hate to name names because
don't even name them then.
Yeah. They're bigger and stronger than me, and they're going to pick on me next, so I don't want that. Yeah, channels that just select someone else and then mock everything they do is the hip thing right now. It is exploding.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how I feel about that sometimes depends on who they're picking on. If they grab I don't know, I wouldn't want it to be me, but me. I'm somehow a little less vulnerable to this stuff. Oftentimes it's people who have some sort of learning disability, or they're just young, they're kids, and it feels
Jesus
Christ.
Yeah,
and
that was a real one that I saw. I don't even know the channel, or maybe this was a re-upload because it wasn't on a channel with a lot of subs, but it was just making fun of a young kid,
13
and the young
years
kid
old,
uploading content, and the kid, just like a child, and it's that's fucked up. That's out there
it's
for this
ruthless.
kid. This kid's gonna see it.
But it's incredibly profitable. These channels are getting 1 to 3 million views per video, and they're also not that hard to make.
No.
The production value is usually just video gameplay in the background, and they're just picking on someone. And
I feel like a hypocrite saying I almost disagree with that for the reason of being a fan of O&A for so long and laughing my fucking ass off at every time Bobo came in and Jim talked him into coming on the floor, whatever the hell was happening, and they're looking back, I'm oh man, that's not as bad as
I don't
picking
feel
on a child who just uploaded a video to the internet. At least Bobo wanted to be there.
And I can't pretend that Painkiller already. I don't. We're episode 288 now. I'm sure someone could make a montage of us saying things that were hurtful, or laughing at a fat picture of someone, or who knows what. But
not the picture that's fat, it's the person.
So
blame it on photography. They ate their way into this.
Yeah, camera added 10 pounds. Not her fault. 30 cameras.
10 cameras.
So I'm no angel, I'm sure, but anyway, I wonder how these terms of service are going to adjust the YouTube scene, because it seems like they're doing it in response to the just shooting star popularity of bully channels.
It's almost like when I watch videos of a political channel who will put up bits and pieces of an opposing view's content and make fun of that. That's entertaining, and it's almost educational, where it's oh, this is the reason that this policy's X, Y, and Z stupid. What a fucking rube, or whatever they say. But when it's just for the sake of picking on a child, and it's that kid didn't have an agenda. He was just I'm having fun with this. I bet the world would have fun with me. No, he just...
They do?
He just gets abused.
Dude, it's incredibly popular, and everyone loves it. And, I don't know. I think it's the shooting star of content lately. The most popular thing is just sort of taking other people's content and picking it apart.
It's a fine line, though, because if you just say that it's being malicious, then what if someone says, hey, I made a video on fucking abortion or whatever, and the anti-abortion or pro-abortion people took it and they were maliciously, maligning all of my positions and misrepresenting them or something, like, is that going to be looked at as okay? Like, are we taking that down? Or,
it's tricky, right? Like, CinemaSins does it, but that doesn't bother me because they're not picking on weaklings, right? They're picking on, like, I don't know, Iron Man or something, Deadpool.
Yeah.
And, like, it would hurt my feelings if they did it to my vlog, but I'd get over it.
Is there, like, what's an example of something they would rag on? Like, what would a kid be doing and how would they actually rag on them? Not quite grasping what type of bullying this is.
I feel like if I get into examples, then I'm really naming names. But, they might grab, like, a little kid that's singing or something and just talk about how this person has no talent and that the dancing or movements that they're doing are really cringy and kid's 13.
And do you see the actual people that are critiquing this?
For sure, they take clips of it and then talk about.
No,
what
I
happened.
mean, do you see the actual people that are doing the bullying? Are they on camera?
No, they're kind of anonymous.
Oh, okay.
Typically.
See, that's fucking bullshit. I always hated that, man.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, at least like when, like on O&A, they knew it was Opie and Anthony. They could write you a letter and say, "We don't like this." I love so many times. I don't remember what it was, but there was one time a caller came in like hot saying that like, fuck you, Anthony, like you're just a racist, like you're the worst. And you started screaming like, stop just saying it on the radio, come to my house, come to my house and see me, I'll be here, come to my house, I dare you, I fucking dare you to come to my house, screaming at this guy, daring him to come to your home and that you'd be waiting with a gun. I love that. I
started the topic meaning to talk about the terms of service and not the channels, but yeah, I feel like this is going to shake up YouTube. I feel like there's like, I don't know, I can't think of the equivalent. Like music is suddenly becoming the new popular thing and they don't allow music on YouTube anymore. That's the kind of shakeup that we're having. So I don't know. I look forward to seeing how it's enforced and what they do about it. But it's, I don't know, if you're a YouTube follower, this is huge. It's a big deal. Kyle, what you looking at?
I'm looking at the new Model 3 Tesla. They just released some new images of it. I'm on here on Reddit trying to find some noteworthy occurrences that have happened lately. But you just want to see the new Tesla. It looks pretty nice for what it costs. I guess with the, I keep hearing it both ways. I don't know if the tax rebate is going to apply by the time people are taking ownership of them and they're going to get those savings, or if it's going to run out by then. But
this is the less expensive Tesla that's supposed to be like 30 grand.
Yeah, and then in the 20s with the tax rebate, I guess.
Wow, that's inexpensive. I bet it's going to be like a new 1080. Like you can't actually buy them. The people are selling them at crazy premiums.
Well, they had the pre-order thing forever. Chiz has a pre-order.
Does he?
Yeah.
Huh.
They passed.
I like a fucking internal combustion engine.
I know.
Yeah. I definitely prefer it, but I would add one of these to my little collection of vehicles.
Add it to the collection.
Yeah. Like if I'm gonna go on a trip that it's suited for, like I would do that. If I lived in a city, especially, maybe it's stop and go. But where I live, I've got a Camaro and a pickup truck, and if I need to work, it's my truck, and if I'm having fun, it's the Camaro. So, but they're beautiful. That looks pretty nice, and that cheap too. But the problem is, right, that like we're creating the electricity that's being pumped in these electrical cars with fossil fuels.
Maybe I know.
There's no trade-off, man. Come on.
But I feel like that's not necessarily true, right? I mean, there's solar, there's windmills, there's nuclear, I think. Yeah, whatever. I'm an uneducated slob. So, there's nuclear, and so not everything necessarily. And I think it's a little easier to clean things up when you can like pinpoint. I'll make it up, like 300 power sources as opposed to 100 million power sources.
Sure, but I think the majority of the United States energy is still coming from like coal fire, right? I know we've got hydroelectric in the mix, and I know that Nuclear is doing some percentage, 18% or something like that. But I think by and large, it's still coal and oil that we're putting into those things, whether we pump it into the tank or get it out of the outlet.
I don't know what the percentage is really, and I know like coal apparently is like one of Obama's shining achievements has been that like coal is no longer profitable. Like people are going out of business. My old contractor who like took forever on this house had this giant coal mine, and so I sit there and I monitor the price of coal, like rooting for it to go down because I hate him, and it does. He's fucking broke over that, I'm sure of it.
Not as far as the pound has dropped. The pound is at the lowest point it's been comparatively to the dollar. It's the biggest drop in valuation since '94 or something like that. Wow. I think it lost 5.9% against the dollar today. So
buy some fucking pounds.
Yeah, that's what Kitty just did.
Go back up.
I think Kitty just bought 3 or 4 grand worth of pounds just a minute ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pound on track for largest slump in history. Wow.
I don't even like. I don't get currency trading. Like I follow all kinds of trading and stuff, but the sorts of things that would make a currency do well versus another one.
Yeah.
Like I get that like a strong economy generally leads to a strong currency, but all this like I don't know how to predict where it would go. Or if you were to tell me that that like this X incident was going to happen, I couldn't even tell you what was going to happen to the currency because of it. Currency trading is a whole nother flicking thing that I just
predicting it certainly is, but I mean we've got a clear-cut case of it dropping to historic lows right here. It
Great.
Seems like
So I can tell you how to lose money a few hours ago. Like that, that I could lock in. As far as what it's going to do next, it must be dropping because people think that it's going to drop, right?
Well, it has dropped. It's dropped now. So you want to buy pounds and wait for them to recover,
I hear
right?
you. Well, that's assuming that it's done dropping.
Yeah, well, there's the old buy low, sell high thing.
right. So I hear you. Is this low? I don't know if this is low. I mean, like,
low
okay.
enough.
So it looks like Leave is going to win. They're ahead by 500,000 votes because Merca and his other bandwagon riders are going that way. And assuming that they leave, maybe when this prediction becomes a fact, then it'll really drop. Maybe it's only down 5% because it's likely to drop. And when it actually they leave, it'll be 10%. Or maybe the rumor's worse than the news.
So yeah, buy $3,000 worth of pounds now, and if it keeps dropping, buy $3,000 more worth of pounds. Can't lose right now by buying pounds, unless Britain is going under.
Right.
In which case, we've got bigger problems.
Yeah.
The UK is just
gonna have to feed those limey fucks.
You can lose now because, like I said, the vote's not even in. Like half of the votes are in, and it just looks like it's a close.
So what would the scenario be where if you bought $1,000 worth of pounds, which is like $700 worth, or like 700 pounds now, or something like that? Like what could happen? It could drop even further and stay there forever to the point where you never recover your money. I just don't think that's a likely scenario.
Right.
Oh well, shucks.
It's not like we're buying options.
It absolutely could just keep dropping for the next 10 years because leaving the EU turned out to be some sort of bad idea.
Well, if that,
there's no way.
Oliver Twist, and England just turns into pick in a pocket, and a little pocket Oliver, and more porridge.
Please, sir, I'd like some more.
Yeah, I'm really out of my depth on currency trading, but just because something like just crashed doesn't always mean that like it's a buying opportunity. Sometimes it's just a good reason.
It feels representative of your overall faith in England as well, right? I feel like the strength of the pound and the two correspond to one another. I don't think England's about to like go under by any means, but I definitely see that because of the lack in faith of the future for England, the currency has dropped and been devalued, and it may very well drop further. But I think it's going to bounce back.
I think it's just the mystery. Like the new thing is them being out of the European Union, so you're kind of like, uh-oh, what's going to happen? Uncertainty is something markets hate. They don't like and then once you figure out what is going to happen, what the trend is, that shit will go right back up. the pound is a great investment right now.
I can't speak for Anthony's expertise. I'm pretty sure the rest of us don't know jack shit about it. And I lived so PKA.
No, I don't know it either. I'm just rambling on here.
Well, the thing about these dividend readjustments is like.
Cliff, could you spell it out for us? Could you really break it down for us? The legal ramifications of all this.
Yes.
Cliff couldn't even begin to understand any of this.
It's as worthless as a wet scorecard.
Yeah.
What's in your safe?
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably just because this stuff's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? Like during these big changes, where it's like anytime there's a huge change, the currency drops a bit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because it's like uncertainty.
Uncertainty. People don't like that.
Huh.
I don't know.
It's not going to be the end of the world.
I'm basing that on no knowledge and no examples.
None.
Right.
That's how we do it here.
I like the way you work. I like it.
That's about it. I think we're all out.
All right.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. That works for me. So that was.
Let me tell them
Anthony
about
has
Mr.
to
Rope.
get to Game of Thrones.
Yes, I will
gonna
fucking
love it.
put that right on.
I will be watching your Twitter to see what you think.
Remember to be sure to check out Season 2 of Mr. Robot on Wednesday, July 13th at 10/9 Central, only on USA Network. And you can tweet using the hashtag Mr. Robot while you're watching the show.
Yes, you can. And you should.
Painkiller Ready, episode 288.